This is Medicine Woman Solution, and it is good to be here today. I feel like I've thrown together. This is me looking extremely tired. I shouldn't tell you all this, but it's, can I function? Well, it depends on you can breathe and dream it. Spirit will pick you up when you need it. There are days that just being disconnected, you will really feel like shit. I have seen people's energies where they've been separated energetically with their self. I've seen soul pieces, missing out of people, and people wonder why they can't be themselves. You'd be amazed, be surprised that without spirit, you can feel yourself being shit. Now, Brenda, why would you say, I'm not with my spirit? Okay, you are spirit. Yes, that is true. You are the mirror image of, or the mirror consciousness of spirit. That is true. So you also have a soul recorder, but you also created an alter ego. This alter ego is something you breathe life into. Okay, just to let you know, what does that mean to breathe life into it? The book, The Red Line. In The Red Line is this guy says, oh, I'm going to have immortal life. And he went and he killed this monk and took the elixir of, and he, to stay, to live forever. And he took it prematurely. He did not learn his lessons. He didn't gather wisdom. He didn't do any of these things. But he's going to do it anyway because he can, right? Well, he had a lot of learning to do. So every day he would get up in front of the statue, and his job was to learn how to breathe life into this statue. So every day he'd get up, statue stayed a statue. Every day he'd get up, the statue stayed a statue. But because he chose to be immortal, and that this is part of his lesson to grow into spirit, he finally saw it swallow one day. He's like, oh. So he put more of himself in concentration into this statue. And then not only did the statue swallow, but it started to breathe and started to move. And so the more energy he put into it, the more alive it became. Until one day, this alter ego, this statue, which is him, started to get nasty. Talk back, be mean, chastise the one that brought him to life. Kind of like what we do with God, right? And just mocked him, just was being mean. I can do anything without you. I don't need you. And slowly but surely, it's like, why are you being mean to me? I gave you life. And, most mothers understand this with their kids. And what happens is that then this alter ego just becomes nasty and all this. And then finally, this immortal man begins to die. He's on his last breath, and he doesn't understand what he did wrong in his spirituality of his growth. And then he gets an epiphany. And this is what I'd like to teach you guys, is how to get there. He's like, oh my God, I spent years breathing life into this statue to make it real. And he says, I don't have to keep giving it my energy. I don't have to keep supporting it. I don't have to keep doing that. And so he started ignoring it. And it's still mocking him and still treating him like crap. And he's like, every day he's determined, I'm not going to give it my energy anymore. I'm not going to feed it. Now, this is what you understand, this alter ego. This is what we do with our emotions when we experience life. We gave it life. We think, we give it our emotion. We give it our energy. I'm not telling you to overcome. I'm telling you to heal it so that you can take the energy off of the statue. And so then eventually the guy that was dying is now getting stronger because he's getting his power back. And the statue is starting, the alter ego is starting to turn back into a statue. What's the importance of that? That's you and me. One of the things that I found on my trip, oh, thank you. She said she liked my color. One of the things I found on my journey to get where I am today is simply that emotions are magnetic, and we attract that through our thoughts. And when we use our heart and our mind together, it creates this magnetic pull. So inside of our receptor molecules is the door, and the chemical peptides is like the key. So it locks in and it opens it and activates it. And that's what happens. Our thoughts and our emotions come together and activate it and start to breathe life into this alter ego without spirit. And every day we wake up and we are continuously creating this illusion. And so we're beaming our consciousness into this body. There are several bodies that are happening because you're talking about string theory, dimensions. And sometimes when you meditate, you beam yourself into the body next to it, but not quite into it. And you can't find your keys. You stumble around. You can't feel grounded. And a lot of times when we have a bad situation, a chaos, a trauma, a drama, sometimes we'll kind of decide we're not going to beam into this one fully. We're just going to beam right over here because we just can't, because the experiences that are happening in our life are too dramatic. And it's very important to understand you do not have to be you don't have to, you don't have to keep believing. You got to remember, you breathe life into it. How? Your thoughts are electrical and your emotions are magnetic. And so when those two lock in together with an experience, you have those ideas, those choices, and that's why you're programming. So what happens is then your inner world creates your outer world. You have this magnetic pull because you're magnetic, and you can start pulling in those negative experiences. Why would you want that? Well, when you've had certain experiences that happen to you, because this is your this is what your soul's journey chose, and you haven't quite got the wisdom from it, so it keeps repeating, is that we think and we think and we think. Now, if we have a thought and we daydream and we fantasize, they don't stick and become a long-term memory. They drop off like leaves of a tree, and the glial cell will come like a vacuum and sweep that up and forget it. And we have 4 billion bits of information that constantly are coming in. We only take in 2,000 bits of information. We delete, distort, and generalize everything that comes through our senses. And we look for things that are familiar. We make sure that we're constantly safe, secure, and stable. We look for what is going to hurt us. And if you haven't resolved your issue, you're going to attract and see that out of that 4 billion bits, 2,000 bits, you're going to be looking. So you delete, distort, and generalize. You look for safety, security, stability. And, if you are just running the instinctive program, you're not going to be looking for joy. So that's why we have to train ourselves. That's why we have to develop that skill. The more that we resolve our stories, our unresolved stories, which is we take the key out of that molecule, we resolve those trapped emotions. And when you resolve those trapped emotions, you get power back and more apt to beam into this body. Now, I always seem to find people that I need, and I've done it myself, I've had to put my spirit back into my body or into my cells or into my organs 100% where it belongs. We are constantly having that channel with spirit, but if you're not aware of the fact that you separated yourself, most people that get sick, like a physical disease, you'll see that they're not in their body. But if they start to separate themselves and put themselves in multiple energies, that's a strange thing. So I'll be teaching you all those things when it comes to hands-on healing. It's just a little different than, depends on if you're doing hope therapy, because each healing tool that I do is very specifically different. They overlap, but they're very important information. So in the next coming months, we're going to take adventure of how we're going to design the classes. And if you want to have a happy life, you've got to stop being that alter ego. There's nothing wrong with it. You can identify with matter. That's what the lens for. The electromagnetic guiding omni-apparition is a lens for your spirit, your soul, your recorder to look through and experience life. But when you've put yourself and over-identified yourself so much, your consciousness so much into this alter ego, then your outer world will always be triggered. And in your outer world will constantly trigger your inner world that this is the way you have to behave. Instead of you being the authentic self and saying my inner program is my choice, and I'm the one that gets to decide what gets to be triggered. We flip this around. We don't even know it. And so we have to get the energy and the willpower to be back to being your choice. And so that means we have to put work into ourselves. We have to not just put work into ourselves, but we have to be thinking we're worth the investment. It's completely different than saying, oh, I'm so worth a diamond ring. I'm so worth this. No, it's you have to look at the personality. You have to look at the attitude and the behavior. And when you are happy and all of a sudden something bad happens and you're mad, okay, that's fine. You have to learn to get over it in 2 minutes. What? Those are trigger words. But if you don't understand how to, okay, I'm going to own this energy. I'm going to feel this energy. But the more you think about it, the more you lay tracks, what fires together, wires together. And then you create a program. And then you're feeling the reaction turns into a mood. Okay. And then a week goes by. What's wrong with you? Oh, something happened to me last week. It was just unbelievable. And I still can't stop thinking about it. The mood then becomes a behavior. And then it becomes a temperament. And then it becomes a strong personality. That's one hell of a long mood swing to have for 50 years. Why? It's because we don't know. We don't know. Just like that man, we don't know that we can take and stop breathing life into it. We want answers. We want everything to make sense. And that's what sanity is, that everything is secure, safety, stability, and joy. But when you don't feel safe and you don't feel secure in the stability, emotional stability, mental stability, and we are stuck on stress mode, then you're going to train yourself to always be in stress, always be in hell, always be. And it's time to upgrade this, people. And a lot of the things that have to be upgraded has to be the fact that you are consciousness and that you have to become more conscious, not self-conscious. Oh my God, people are staring at me. No, to become conscious. A live meditation is where you're living and you are choosing to drop your brainwave down in a way that you are in your authentic self and looking at life, how it's happening to you. And you're like, that's my response. That is responding to something inside of me. I'm magnetically pulling this in and learning about cause and effect, learning that you are both the cause and the effect. And you can then learn as a soul that I don't really have to participate in this. And this is where it gets tricky, because we've had many, many years. I don't know what's going on with my bangs. Just let it go. To do all this. Now, why do I want to teach you such in-depth information? Because I think if you understood it, you're going to go, fuck, I don't want to do that. And it's not about ego where it's like, I'm blaming you. No, get out of ego. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm helping you understand the foundation of who you are. I'm helping you understand, and I'm trying to take the mystery out of shit. You don't need to always live in the woo-woo mystery. This is fun sometimes, but then it's time to understand why you drank that elixir of life and why you want to die so soon, or why you want to. Okay, so we're just going to back it up. And so today is going to be a question and answer type day. Okay, so it's Danny says, hey, I forgot to tell you, I got a blink like that. I love that feeling. I got it from Costco. We have a Costco's over here now in South Australia. Now, remember, we want the numbers to go up. We want you to invite people. Hello, Patricia. How about Christmas shopping? Ah, yes. Oh, today has been one of those energetic days, Patricia, because I have to get up at 4 a.m. to help with my husband. I don't have to, but it's a choice that I want because I want to spend quality time with him. I didn't, come over here just to live my life separately. I want to bond with him. I want to invest in our relationship. So I'll get up with him but today I was wiped. Something just wiped. And then Amy says to me, all right, who are you taking on? And it's for me, you got to understand the reason why I take people on. Those are not the words I want, but I have to learn who we are as a human. That's my schooling. That's my choice. And I'm aware of it. This is not just me. This mood, this body, everything. These are my little intricities, something like that. That if I see how all these little details are, no, I'm going to tell you what's hilarious is I hate detail. Just saying. People that take in color, oh my God, that's monotonous to me. It's like, what the hell? Okay, so I'll paint a mural. I want that done. So I will actually skip steps. And I know I don't need to skip steps, but I find that hell. And I need to heal that. And everything I physically have to do, repeat and do over again and over again, it's like I've learned to stop looking at it as hell. So it's like one time I had a paint can and we just laid new carpet. And so I'm carrying the paint can and the handle broke and the paint can lid apparently wasn't on all the way. And now this is a beautiful reddish brown. I know, white, not kind of a white carpet, but a gray white carpet. No, here it is, 2 a.m. I'm ready to go to bed. But with that, you just can't. I said, okay, I could either do ego, go nuts, cry, or I can just drop into it, let the ego clean it up, and meditate in that moment. That was such a profound moment for me because the next thing I know, I'm scrubbing and scrubbing and cleaning and scrubbing, and it's getting done and it's actually coming out. I just kept saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, because I knew that it was going to get clean. And I stopped judging it. And again, I let myself immerse into it. And what I realized is that I didn't have to breathe life into the dramatic moment because that was my stress release. But yet at the same time, I didn't have to choose that response. And I thought, whoa. And so then, it's about 3:30 in the morning and I the carpet, you wouldn't know I did anything to it. And so that was helpful. And I know spirit had a lot to do with cleaning it up. And I went from there. So this reminds me of how you don't, a lot of people say, well, I can't see with color, I can't see with number, I can't do hope therapy. Now, those are just excuses. You have turned those off, you have shut them off, because if you shut down certain parts of your brain, then you can function and have a sanity world based on other people's lives or chaos or stuff like this. But most of the time, you're made of color, vibration, frequency, numbers. And when you tap into the left brain, right brain, and you get that to be in sync with your heart as you're healing, you'd be amazed. Like on this vacation, there was this truck in front of me. It was driving me nuts. And I think I told this story Monday, but one of the things that came out was, what color did you just put out there? Yellow. And so I started to pull back my color. And one of the free healing tools is picking yourself off the floor. And that was an experience of a lifetime that I won't forget, of how this woman just attacked me. And I'm like, my body froze. I'm like, oh, great. I'm in froze mode. Means I don't want to piss her off. So this means I'm agreeing with her. And I was shaking. And when I got out in the car and when I realized, they said, look, what color is on the floor? I'm like, every single color I've seen. It looks like plaid over here and paisley over there. I know those aren't colors, but you know how the color's designed. And I started to take and own my power back. from that experience that I gave my power to. So if you don't think picking yourself up the floor is a good or fascinating tool, try it sometime, especially when you lose your shit with your kids. Oh, fuck. I will often find that I will lose blue because I've yelled, and yellow because I don't know how to own my own power. And I was taught that the reason how you control people is to put fear in them. And I'm like, I refuse to do that. Now, the third chakra is like the top range of the ego. And of course, you're going to take it to the max. Now, like I said, we're going to do questions and answers and things. Now, hopefully I can see the darn screen. Danny says, I experienced growth today with reactions. I was able to actually refuse to react to blaming today. What is that? What is this? Awesome. So Danny had an experience with hope therapy. And we want to thank Amy for wanting to help. So she donated some of her earnings to help. This is what's called paying it forward and love. And then I donated some time, and then Danny paid for some time. And we got to go as far as, we could go. And slowly but surely, I kept telling her, you need to witness when you have certain things, who you were, who you're becoming. Danny also says, I'm glad I'm not alone, feeling completely wiped out today. Just feels like getting energetically sideswiped. I keep feeling like I got hit by a Mack truck. I mean, what the hell just took and zapped? And there's got to be something on the planet. I'm sure there is. There's just, you're going to have continuous stuff that's happening all the time. And I have ringing in my ears today, and it started last night. I don't know if any of you are aware of it, but I need to readjust. So what I do is I say, okay, Spirit, I have ringing in my ears. The first thing they're going to tell me is what meridian is out of alignment with the new frequency that is being beamed into me, and what needs to be upgraded, I should say. And so for me, at this point, I have I think last night was the right ear. They're saying that my ear is ringing because of my lung meridian. And it's a habit of tuning something out. Is it a certain, it's the new energetic level that's coming in. But it's a habit of not wanting to connect with something in my environment. So something, and now is as I said that, as I'm looking at the map, I am looking and seeing how the grids, they're, you've seen the Matrix movie? So these are running, but this one's lit up. That means something's changing there. There's something over here that's changing. And then over here, this grid work. So, I would assume this has to do with the 5D world, because now I feel like the Tesseract is, it's a different shape than a 3D or a 4D. So, yeah, so that's what's going on. And if I see where we are in it, I'll see that's like all around us or above us and all this. So here we are. Yeah, there's a lot of us that are too much into being an ego and not enough of taking our willpower and our life force. So this is a program. So the healings I want to be able to do and to help you with is, it's all about forgiveness. It's all about growth. It's all about upgrading your instinctual life pattern, the instincts, and so that you don't have to feel like there's a lion chasing you. Okay, so Amy's home. Amy, I thought I had the Zoom up. I thought I sent you a new link to Zoom. So so check into that. Yeah, I'm still there. So look, I got you a new link. I sent you a picture with a number at the top. So hello, Queen. Thank you. This came from Etsy, Dr. Jules Verne, and So I get my stuff from Dr. Jules Verne from Etsy. Amy is starting to make jewelry, and I would highly recommend, so if you want something very specific, she'd be your woman. Because, what do you might call it? We're thinking of Medicine Woman Solution, a line of pendulums, a kit, so that you understand how to use the baba ones, the oils and things like this that have to do with very specific things of cleaning up the energies within your home, your space, yourself. There's different little healing tools that you'll be amazed. But it's not only, do you get the item, but I have to write the booklet, but there's a little booklet so that you can actually understand how these things are working and why they're important. Hey, don't just buy it. There's something important about it. I don't think Amy's able to get on or something. Well, she'll let me know. Thank you for little icons. That's great. Yes, I needed vacation to connect with nature, to connect with spirit, to do that journey walk. And so, again, I brought the blackboard out because I think it's important that we do this. Now, I'm just going to look into, I want somebody to tell me, oops, well, that's really brilliant. Good, we have somebody that's paid. That's wonderful. You can start doing that. I turned it on. Now, what I'd like you to do is just talk to me and, tell me a problem. And just kind of, whatever. We're going to try something a little different. This will be part of the free reads. So if you're looking for a free read, understand so I'm going to pull somebody and Amy will keep track of who I pull so that when I do the free reads later, then, you don't get duplicate. But so if anybody has something very specific, why is this happening to me? I seem to be angry all the time. Why is my husband a jerk? I don't know what spirit wants to do. Okay, so Nicole Bayer says her pain is bad today. All right, talk to me, Nicole, real quick. Tell me about your pain. Where is it? Is it all over? In what number is it? And we'll go from there, okay? Well, that's what we'll do. I don't know why this is not working right. All right, so you're going to have to mute. I don't know why Zoom didn't work, but anyway. Okay. So,
I can't hear you.
All right, hold on. I can hear her just fine. See, she might even be using her same device. I hope you're not using computer and your device at the same time. So we're going to have to.
It won't let me in on Zoom.
All right, so.
Not enough numbers or something. Send me a link again.
All right, well, okay, you're going to have to be fine with that. Can you hear me at all? No? Okay, so let's do it this way. We're going to restart that, and then I'm got to not waste time on this. So, yes, everybody, so I'm going to work on Nicole. We're going to look at sadness, and we're going to, like I said, I'm going to spend some time that it's just about doing, like a free read that way. So we'll do it that way. As soon as I just get my mind to work, that would be great. She says it's an 8 and it's an abdomen. A lot of times you're going to find that you have panic in your stomach. Now, for her specifically, what we're going to do very specific is this. I'm looking, the pain that she has in her stomach, is that you have an oh my God moment. So you had a chaos or an oh my God experience. Oh my God. Okay. And it's something that you haven't got over, but you've thought about because your brain is trying to figure out what happened. They're saying that, what age? I don't know how old you are, dear. I can't tell the same 36 or 3 and 6. I don't know if they're talking about 2, 1, 36. I don't know if that's your age or somebody else's age. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of times they'll pick your age, but then a lot of times it'll be like my mother got cancer when she was 52. And I'm approaching now that I'm 52, my body's acting kind of funky. And it's like, wait, what? And so it depends on the age. So play with me, Nicole, just for a moment. She's 44. What happened at 36? They said you had an oh my God experience. You thought about it to resolve it. And if you thought about it, you're going to be anal, or you're trying to control the emotion and you can't figure out what to do with it, but it keeps continuing. And what happens is that it's stored in the body. As I look deeper, I see that it has to do with helplessness. When I say, tell me about the event, then they tell me that you were made to feel like shit. Okay. So you had an event out here. And this again, your inner world creates your outer world. So you have a program that happens. So this is the external environment. And the thing is that make to feel like shit. Make to feel like shit. And you're thinking, well, don't a lot of people do that? Yeah, but no. You don't have to, but we project this out. So you were made to feel like shit. So this is part of that quiet program. Now it can be on a scale from 0 to 10. 1, not, just a quick comment. 2, 10, where something physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually was projected out to create you to feel like shit. Okay. When you had that happen, your eyes, whoops, that ain't gonna work. Wow, my brain but anyway, you took in information into your eyes. That doesn't look right either. Don't laugh, people. Something's not right. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I don't either. That does not look right either. But I'll give you some hair. As the information comes in, don't laugh. Because I am laughing very hard. As the information comes in, understand it can come through the sensory system. But this is your external world. You have to, in your brain has to make sense of what just happened. So 4 billion bits of information of, I have to make you feel like shit. Just poof. Now you have to delete, distort, and generalize. But what if it's so overwhelming? I can't delete that. I can't distort that. I can't just. So you memorize as a way to cope, handle, deal, and pacify that event. You memorized it. You became anal. What was it? What was it? You have to make it make sense. And when you have to make sense of it, you are going to make a track of memorizing every part of it because you're looking. What are you looking for? You're looking for the one reason. Now, this is where blame comes in. Oh, see, it was that. It was that. It was that. That's what the ego does. Spirituality is to understand that here's a feeling. This is the key that's locked into the receptors. This is what your cells are saying. We know the story. We want it resolved, right? No, your soul wants it resolved. Your story says, it's 2:00. You are meant to feel like shit today, and we're going to send out this beam. Dee-dee, dee-dee, dee-dee. So then you have thinking about it, and then you have emotions, and then you're going to start attracting shit in. Your cells Your body's consciousness wants you to feel like shit, not because it's like, hey, I want her to feel like shit, you know? No, it is, oh, we're programmed to do this. It's like an updating on your computer in the middle of typing, and all of a sudden it updates and shuts down. You're like, what the blah? Okay? Your cells are only obeying what you programmed it to be. Because you had an experience at 36, you didn't resolve to evolve. So you, instead of healing it, you dealt with it and you stored it and you made tracks in the mind, what fires together, wires together, and then your body, your DNA changes to match the new program, the new chemical peptides, the new stuff that happens. Okay? So you can kind of have an idea of what happened at that age. What do you need to do? You need to heal this feeling. This feeling. So if you start to take information that helps you understand why you thought about it in the first place, and it's not about blaming anybody, but now you want to remove that emotion. You literally don't need that emotion anymore. So this is where I say put on a scale from 0 to 10, and 10 being the worst, and you start to heal it down, this feeling gets smaller, 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 smaller. And you then start to get wisdom out of why it happened. You created a wisdom that goes in that special place. So when shit happens, it goes through the wisdom and you don't have to respond to the way before because you just resolved to evolve. You heal instead of deal. You said, I no longer need to keep this alive, this unresolved issue alive. Okay. Nicole, where are you? The separation. Yeah, I would assume that it knocked your socks off. And you probably felt like shit. Now, there's healing tools that will work just on that to bring it down. When you're in that state, you're like, there's nothing that can turn around and, to fix that. I've been in that state. You're like, yeah, right. Nothing will stop this feeling. I've tried, I've done. But then I know because I have done it. I have used tools. I've come out on the other side. Okay. So now see, it's an 8. Now give it a color too, Nicole. And even if you were just to put your hand on your forehead and do nothing else and think and knowing that it's an 8, giving it a color and you stay there, that number, the thought processing and the color will go down. We want it to 0. Because if you leave it to a 2 or a 1, it'll grow again. Some people just keep it, just keep it a little bit just in case. This is like, I will forgive, but I won't forget. No, I want you to forgive, forget, but create a boundary so you don't have to put your hand back in the damn fire again. Okay? There's lots you can do. Pick yourself off the floor. Get the color. Claim your color back. Okay? Great sadness last few days. So Angel Lynn. If we look at the monotonous, there's something that's very monotonous. Like I said, I don't like detail. So like I will be doing something and I'm like, I'm not done yet. And it takes all this. That to me is monotonous. It starts and I literally begin to feel something inside of me. Now, I pay attention to how I feel, how everything shifts, because otherwise it's going to own me. I'm not giving my willpower to it. I'm aware of it. I'm doing the live meditation. I'm like, I see it. I've got it. When I say the great sadness, is this from the Planetary? This is from a chemical response. A chemical stress is inside your body. Now, if I asked if it's micro, if it's chemical in nature, or if it's anthropod, it's like a metal. So there's something in your space. I don't know if, like, for instance, when you have a wok or you have a one of those coated pans. Amy, do you know what I mean by a coated pan? Like when
coated pan?
Yeah, they got that black stuff all over the pans when you're cooking.
Teflon.
Teflon. Yes, that's it. Okay, so what happens is that when you cook with that, my body will go, no, thank you, and we create my body will get sick. It actually kills birds if you have them in the room. So your body is triggered to respond in a certain way. So be careful of the cooking. So when there's something in you, maybe it could be your drinking water. They're saying that your body is creating a chemical response. It's something inside your body that's responding. Now, have you had an injury where you had a metal plate, anything like this? There's something not communicating properly. And so therefore, your body is triggering and going into a memory of what sadness is. If I look a little bit further, they're saying that it's overtime hopelessness. It's connected to this particular overtime hopelessness. So something that's just hopeless. Why even get your hopes up? So, take and check your thoughts, because when you check your thoughts, you're like, well, I'm always happy. No, stop. Overtime hopelessness. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I didn't want to buy a lottery ticket because it's just hopeless. I'll never win anyway. Those maybe sound like they're just little tiny thoughts, but they are connected. You're telling yourself something. You're telling yourself something. Okay. Yeah, you can pay for two. Pain. Okay. So Cleora, Clara Hill Scott. Pain in my lower right shoulder blade affects me and need healing. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you under something that anytime you have pain, it's going to be your meridians. Flat out. You are energy, 100% energy all the time. All the time. When that energy gets interrupted, you will have so out of a positive 10, you're like, woohoo, healthy. When it becomes a positive 9, a positive 8, positive 7, and if it gets into the negatives is where you get certain pain. And it's based on units. So for instance, if I look, what's causing that pain where it is, you have a triple warmer and a small intestine going off. You have 2 meridians. And if you understand, the small intestine starts here, it goes up, dips down into the shoulder blade, comes up and around. Okay. And then the triple warmer is there also. Okay. It goes up and it comes up and around. Now, there are points where it crosses. There are points that even if the meridian is in your lower part of your body and not into your shoulder, it still has a meeting point because you have life that happened. So in this case, you have pain, and the pain has to do with when you were 15, okay? And then now you had a slow, momentous buildup, okay? You have an active memory that's running. That means something triggered it, and your body is just, it's active. It's very active, okay? Now let's go a little bit further. Let's read the unit of this story. Now, your meridians, those meridians can be doing something completely different if you read them on a different scale, but parts of those are playing a part in this active memory. So if I look at the small intestine, they says that you are not being paid attention to and you feel unworthy. So you've had something going on. So at 15, maybe somebody didn't pay attention to you. Now, it may sound silly, but if you think about it, this is paying attention to knows that she's loved. So it's to do with association. And why do you have this pain now? And they said that it has to do with you became very self-conscious of how you always have to behave around somebody, and you would behave differently. Let's say instead of keeping your mouth shut, you opened it. Maybe you decide that you're going to cook supper at a different time than what they want. And what happens is you got a little bit of a disapproval. And there was some confusion energy. Now, what happens when you want energy and love, some people will take their energy away because they're mad. Or people deliberately pull their love away so they can teach you a lesson. So you have to start looking at how you were raised to how you've turned yourself into agreeing that this moment happened in my time to release the pain. Now, just to release the pain, let's look at it. Are they frozen? Yes, all of them are frozen. Okay, so in one of the classes we're going to be talking about, you're going to learn how to do source point healing. The source point healing is to help you understand all about meridians that are frozen, or how to release the meridians, and then how to manipulate the energy of your body so that the energy can zing around, support it to release pain, to release stuck emotions, but you'll have to face those. So there's different levels. So for instance, that's frozen. So you have to get a refrigerator magnet, and the small intestine is right here. See, right here, just above the wrist bone, right there. You'll feel it's like a little indent. You're going to take your magnet and you're going to sweep back and forth, good 12 times on both sides, and then you're going to rub it a good 30 times. Okay? That's the small intestine. The triple warmer is on the back, right in the middle. Okay? Right at the bending point. See right there? And you're going to use the magnet 12 times, and then you're going to take and rub 30 times. The triple warmer will always seem to get stuck, go off, or it will be involved in one of your issues. And see, put on the scale from 0 to 10. Then take and use the magnet, rub the point, see if it's come down. Now, sometimes we have to use an extra point. I'm going to ask. It's because you have an active memory, you have to release the memory. Now, instead of you can make an appointment with me, or you can put your hand on your forehead. It's not going to be as good as if you're working with me, but it will work. They're saying that you do self-impose limitations. You put a limitation on yourself. You self-impose it. You did it yourself. So let's say, for instance, you have somebody in your life that's a narcissist, and you don't want to hear their bullshit to you, or the way they're going to gaslight and blame you. So you're like, okay, so I'm going to try it this way. Okay. Our relationship stinks, but if I stop acting this way in this situation, then yeah. Okay. But what if that is part of who your personality is? And now you're stopping yourself. So you have a self-imposed limitation. You have to look at how you stopped yourself in this particular way of responding to another human being in that space. And that's part of your growth pattern you're going to have to do. Does this make sense? Makes sense. Wonderful. All right. All right, now let's go. We'll take another person real quick to help you understand. Is there anybody else? And then we'll go into the paid reads. Okay. So for the paid reads, we have Pilly, and then we have Kelly Schweitzer, and then we have Nicole Paventi. How did you pay, Lenny? Oh, maybe you paid this way. I'll have to look. Oh yeah, just tell me how you paid, Lenny, because I don't quite see where it's at. Because if you went to the bank account, you'll have to send me a picture of it. Nope, don't see it. Oh, I've lost my screen. There we go. PayPal account. Like, really? Let's see. So just let all of you know that when you do PayPal, you don't do e-checks, because I won't take them. Somebody stiffed me and they have now ran away, so they got a free reading out of it. And there was no communication, so there is, no, that's not cool. You can fix it with me, and if that becomes the issue, because in the beginning I had people that did that, and there was a problem with their bank, and they fixed it. And so then no problem. They could continue to pay me differently, and we had a different relationship. That might be it. Yours now. Yes. Okay. So it came in. So in this order, like I said, Pilly, Kelly, Nicole, Lenny, and Mary Ann. All right. Going back, and just to make sure, What if I don't feel others' emotions anymore? Oh, Pilly, you would need to learn how to understand that's a symptom. Maybe you decided that you wanted to, it's like selective feeling, selective smelling, selective indifference. You may have to get that out. And okay, and then Pilly says, well, more like not caring about other people's feelings. Okay, that makes sense. We're going to go, and since I don't see anybody else.
Marianne has sent.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so.
And I got a question. Is my triple warmer going off?
Yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into the paid reads, you feel like you let me down. Is that true? No, come on now. Think about, you have 41 thoughts per minute. Anytime today, because you had a commitment, and so you couldn't show up at a certain time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I had to take my aunt to.
Now, and they said that the triple worm was also going off because when you took your aunt, did she make you feel funny? What did she say or do?
She was disappointed because it wasn't a ceremony lighting. It was just.
And you took that as your responsibility. You took that on as your responsibility that the tree lighting ceremony wasn't what she wanted. And because she was disappointed, you could feel that. And because it wasn't expected, you took it on. You understand? That shit you got to let go. Did you hear me, people? This wasn't even hers. This is what we do as humans. And the more that you're an empath, this becomes an issue. All she did was take her aunt to see a tree lighting ceremony. And the aunt goes, oh, I'm disappointed. I thought it was going to be something else. Was it directed to Amy? No. She put out her disappointment. Amy probably knows what disappointment from other people feel like, especially to her, which means it's a sign and whispering opportunity to some degree that you need to heal something in the past where you know what it feels like when you disappointed people. Okay? So now she, just by having that knowledge, her triple warmer is not going off as bad. But it's still, I can still hear it humming that it's like, oh, but I know what disappointment is. So for her, I would say you notice how she exerted her power. It is in the phobia. It's in the act. It's like you're scared of spiders, but you're not scared of it until maybe it moves. Or you're scared because of the way it looks. It's hairy. But in this case, her triple warmer went off because she's waiting for, she heard, but she also saw the exertion of the power. So how did she display this particular disappointment?
She goes, sorry, Katie. She thought that there would be a whole bunch of people there and there would actually be.
Okay, see how calm she said this? No, okay. What? What's going on? Why isn't there a bunch of people here? This isn't right.
Pretty much.
So did you see how I exerted my power?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if I would have really exerted my power, I'm sure Marie would be going, oh, I can feel it. Because, and the closer you are with somebody, the power is really, oh my God, you become very sensitive to it. This is probably why Pilly turned around and goes, okay. And so did that answer your question? How would you take care of that? First of all, I would go in and hold L2D while you're at it and look at how people exert your power, how they exert their power and how much you're like security, safety, stability. All of those went off and you're like, ah! And so you're waiting for something else to happen. Now it's affecting my adrenals. Oh, that hurts. Oh, you be holding L2D. Hold L2D. Got it? All right. So, Pilly, we're going to take you. Oh, you let your cat out. Yes. All right. Now, Pilly, you had posted that. Is it okay to talk about that date to some degree? Just say yes or no. She had a bad experience on a date. Maybe that's all I need to say. And she was willing to go out on a date. She was willing to have fun. She's willing. And this person ended up being an interesting prick, to say it nicely, to the point where she got scared. And for a woman, your safety and your security and your stability and your joy, the joy disappears. Your safety and your security is like, what the fuck? Because you felt safe and secure. And now you're not sure how or what's going to happen in the event of what's going on. So now your part of you is like, I've got to get the hell out of here and protect myself. And so now you're into fight, flight, freeze. You have to figure it out. Okay, so when we look at and see, and Pilly paid for, what did Pilly say? Pilly said, I think you just said anything. Anything spirit wants. But then Pilly said over here that it had to do with, like not caring about others' emotions. What if I feel others' emotion or don't feel them anymore? And the thing is that after a while, let's say you're just done. That's what I hear. I'm done. Stick a fork in it. Get that damn carving knife. I'm done. And there's a part of you that hits enough's enough. And then all of a sudden you put walls up. Boom. This is what you do to protect that heart. You put walls up. And when you protect that heart, you're saying, I don't want to do this anymore. You've had enough experience that those experiences, again, this isn't an experience. But what is this? This is unresolved. It's unresolved and it gets stored. Why? Because she was probably thinking about it over and over and over and over and over. Well, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to, and the only answer was to put up a wall. What's happening? And you may not even be aware that you're putting that wall up there. Why can't, see, like right now, why can't things just be easy? And it's going to pull your attention. You want to be doing one thing, but other things come into play. And that's what happens in life. Oh, how did this just die? Yeah. Okay, so guess what? My iPad decided to update as I'm still hooked into talking to Amy. I can get mad. I can get frustrated. Depends on how you want to answer it. How is your reaction? This was a live experience for you about how something's not going right. So notice not only are you to look at this unresolved issue, okay, but let's go a little bit further. Oh, I can't move that. Here's your brick wall. I want you from your spirit point to understand you have to look at your reaction. So there's a part of you that's expecting this, whatever the fresh experience is. Oh, you can't see it. Fresh experiences. Your fresh experience was that date. A part of you had an old reaction. So I'm going to ask, when was this? Something that happened at 24. So we're looking at something that happened at 24. And you had built a reaction and an experience at 24 that now this is active. It's like pulsating. Boof, boof, boof. And it's also going to emanate energy to attract energy. So you may not even be thinking, it's the body's consciousness that's doing it. So then she created this asshole to come out and say, hey, I'm a good guy. La, 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 I've done everything for you. And notice how they gaslit you. Notice how their behavior is, I'm a great guy. So you apparently are attracting a certain personality, which is probably a narcissist. Close enough. A narcissist. Okay. The question is, why do you have these? What is this about? It's a good to understand this happening, but why is this happening? A little bit further we'll go. We're going to look at, Hold on, I have to fix this. Amy, I can't get it to work. You call, I will push hello. You decided at 5, but when did you decide you're going to live through others? That's part of a genetic. Oh, now we're getting deep. An epigenetic says you have to live through others. Okay? Epigenetics. Mom, dad, sperm, egg. Oh, God, we have to live through others. I haven't resolved my issue. Boom. Created Pilly. Pilly comes in with an epigenetic of I have to live through others. This is like a trait that you pick up from the family. But you're asked to resolve it in this lifetime. Now you're like, okay, well, you don't know you're doing that. They're saying that at 5. Now this is preconception. Okay, a little bit before preconception. Let's look at it that way. Come on, why is this doing this? I don't know why it's doing this. But the preconception, again, it's an epigenetic. It's before you even got into the womb. It's the egg experience. And then what happened for you was at 5 years old, you said, no effing way. So now you're like, I am not going to live through others people's experiences. So now you're fighting between these two programs. You're fighting between these two programs. And because you're fighting with these two programs, oh, good Lord. See, everything's miscommunication. Nothing will work. Don't hang up, Amy. I was trying. There we go.
Okay.
So notice that you got two programs. This one was a stored. This one was epigenetics. And now you're talking about timelines that come into here. This is what I do when you come in to have a one-on-one healing experience. But I'm exaggerating this so that you can really get something out of this. Okay? So a little bit further. You're fighting with this. Your fresh experience is, and that's why people are like, well, I don't remember what happened before birth. I don't remember what happened at 5. You don't have to. Your fresh experience will do it for you. But if you're seeing it through ego, why does this happen to me? Just back up the boat. Understand is that if you have a narcissist or a gaslighter, it's all about living their life. You have to live their way. That means you have to put self-imposed limitations. You have to, and you're like, but why would I do that? Good question. This is why. Shit, life's not working. What if I try this? Ah, crap, that don't work. What if I try this? Oh man, what if this don't work? What do I do? How would I do this? And you'll keep doing this over and over again and again because you don't know how any of this is supposed to work. Okay, you're just like to the point you're exhausted. You put up heart walls. I fucking can't do this anymore. Enough's enough. So, first of all, we have to heal. Enough's enough. And you're going to take wisdom out of that. Instead of pushing, not feeling, and can't do this, you're going to heal. That's what you would be looking at. That's what you'd be healing. And we would be taking and unlocking that key and just taking the key out and saying, well, no, we're not doing that anymore. I would say heal that first. Then you go in and then you understand that you have a reaction to heal. Okay, which could be just enough's enough, but there might be some hidden stuff. You expect it. We would heal this. How you hate or dislike or love because you're like, why would I want to love a gaslighter? Okay, what if your parents were a gaslighter? What does that mean? That means that you would turn around and find, oh, that's so attractive, but not knowing that that's their personality. So we would have to look and heal that one. Then we would have to go in and heal having to live through others. And then we'd have to heal, there's no fucking way I'm going to act like that. So it's breaking it down. It sounds like a lot of healing. And you're like, why bother? Well, do you like your life? And when you begin to break down these little things, it doesn't take long to do. You heal, you learn. You're like, I'm not going to act that way. Oh, I can see how I act that way. And you start to get epiphany upon epiphany upon epiphany. You stop breathing life into that alter ego, that statue, that shit. Hopefully this makes sense to you. Thank you, Pilly. Okay, so this is kind of like what our classes are going to be like. You're going to see detail instead of me just talking detail. And why isn't that moving? Because it's not. See? Pilly said it's never enough. Yep, I tried different ways to deal with it. She gets it. She gets it. I'm not putting this shit in her head. This is her energy. This is her field. This is what it is. And she is beginning to know this. Well, the reason that only 2 people want free readings is we're not creating enough people. And people don't want to stick around with this shit because most of the people that want the free readings are not serious enough about wanting to heal their health. Okay? So that's why my numbers are quite low a lot because, yeah, okay, Billy, that sounds good. And then we can get in there. But, and the thing is that I only want people that really want their shit. They want to own it. They want to change their world. That's why I don't really care if I give free readings because I don't want it to go one in one ear and one out the other. You're a program. I want you. Now, Pilly, you're waking up. You're growing, girl. Marie, all of you are growing. And I love and I'm so proud of all of you. Yes, I would love to see more people. I would love to find those that want the classes. I just don't know where to go to find them. And Spirit says, hang in there because we're helping these people, your tribe, to be able to get their strength so that they can get their energy and hold their space. Okay, very important. Now, we're going to take the next person. Kelly, you're a sweetheart. You're next. Let's talk to me about what you want. So I will put in there the time. You want to heal. You can relate. So tell me what it is. Like, for instance, see, Pilly pulled it up and says, well, I've noticed that I can't feel anymore. What is it that you want to look at? It could be a physical pain. It could be anxiety. It can be depression. And depression is huge because it's usually related back to like everything I just described. But there's layers upon layers. And that's why one healing isn't enough because we have to break it down. Okay. Thank you, Kelly. She says, I appreciate you. So what is it that you want to heal, Kelly? Because it's your turn. And I'm going to hit the timer in a minute. And if I don't see anything, I'll turn around and look, but I'll pull something if that's the case. Okay. Do you want me to pull? So I can pull something out or do you want to pull a card? No. Okay. So we're just going to pull. All right. So now as I look at Kelly, she keeps repeating that she's discouraged. So you have become discouraged. Now, the thing is are you even aware that this happened? Discouraged. Okay, this is why I like to have one-on-one. So our classes, you're going to have the little windows. We're going to be able to have one-on-one communication. It's kind of hard to do on a show. But you are discouraged. And even if you're in your head, not your body, in your head, and you're like, yeah, no. Oh, she's like healing from the past, depression, can't sleep. Oh, can't eat, can't sleep. All right, let's go. The can't eat and can't sleep is because now nobody likes to hear this, but you're stuck in your head. You're stuck in ego. You're stuck in the response. You're stuck in the emotions. You're stuck in the triple warmer, like Amy. That triple warmer is your army. It'll steal energy. It can't steal from the heart, but it'll steal energy from all the other meridians. And then you're fucking in your head. Your polarity's off. Your life's off. Shit seems to happen. You can't eat. You can't sleep. And depression becomes one of the things. Now, I'm going to look at your depression. And they said that your depression has a lot to do with, expected. Somebody expected you to act a certain way. Okay? So you're expected to act a certain way. And please, people, when I'm doing spirit, I may not be able to spell. It has nothing to do with this body is an ego form, and spirit sometimes have problems going in and trying to write. Now, let me explain what this is. It's called Under pressure. You've heard that. Under pressure. Do, 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 do. That song. Now, understand this. Under pressure is that you have to create a personality, a mood. You have to create a temperament. You have to behave. So this, a funny little thing happened. I think that might be the name of it. I can't remember. Maybe Betty remembers. I think I talked about it before. But this Zach Galifianakis is in it. But anyways, this boy is depressed. He wants to kill himself. So he checks himself into a mental hospital, but he can't go into the teen ward. So he's thrown into the adult ward. He gets thrown into the adult world, and they're like, okay, arts and crafts. I don't do arts and crafts. Do it anyway. Music. I don't do music. Do it anyway. And God, come on. And they're encouraging, they're loving, and this and that. And finally, this boy dives into this part of himself that he shut off because he was under pressure, because he is expected to act like what his father wanted him to. And that actually started to drive him crazy because he became depressed because he was discouraged to be himself. And if I look at this, why did any of this start to happen? And it says at age 2. So you have a 2-year-old. A 2-year-old. Imagine all these kids running around. Do you think they can think logical? No. They have an irrational thinking. And they have to figure out what's going on in their environment. So they're going to come up with a certain way of thinking, not like an adult. And it's okay. So when I'm telling people that you have to heal irrationally, it's not because you're just being irrational. It's because you created a program at a certain time. I'm not expecting you ever to think anything other than that. Does that make sense? Now, let's look at this. You're under pressure to be something that to be a certain way. You're probably getting tired of it. So tired of it that you're cracked. That the emotions are nuts. Now, I do see your triple warmer. Now, if I asked what unit this was, they said it's triple warmer in kidney. Kidney is that it has a bad memory. And I said, well, when is this bad memory? So at 2 years old, you had a bad memory. A bad memory is not it's not you had a bad dream. Now, it can be real or unreal. But I feel this one was a live experience. Now, here's the weird part. Children have great parents, but if they were to act mean to somebody, not the kids, maybe they're protecting their kids, that child is going to go be in shock. It's going to be recorded. No, that's a memory. That's a bad memory. Oh my God, if my mother can do that to that person, they could do it to me. So then you're going to re-alter yourself. This is how a child thinks. Or if you are, do what mommy says, or I'm going to, look at the old paradigms from the old days. You wait till your father gets home. That was a TV show, by the way. So it was putting fear in you, and you're going to alter yourself. The child can be sitting there and all of a sudden happy, and all of a sudden mother goes, "What the hell are you talking about?" And the child has no idea that it's to them, but then they look and the mother's on the phone, but they don't quite get that concept. Okay, it's in their nerves. Now, here's the thing about children even further. If you're in the arms of your mother or father and some bad experience, my mother, her son died. I'm like, Mom, my mother disappeared. She's ego, she's right there, but she was in freaking turmoil and shock. That set me off to feel not loved and wanted and all of this. Okay. I'm telling you this because I want you to understand that your meridians are going nuts. And you're drained because all your energy is going to the triple warmer. I want you to be able to heal yourself. And the first thing you need to do is you got to stop believing that you're unworthy. So does this pattern look familiar to you? And some people are going to go, this is the first time I'm exposed to this. No, that doesn't sound like me. You sounds like you need a fresh experience. Please, with grace and ease, make it a whisper that you can see it. Show up in a certain way so that you can see it without having to go into that shock. And I want you to go, oh, Thank you, Spirit. That's what we want. That's what we want. And what I want you to do as far as healing goes is you need to do Wayne Cook. So you need to go, Amy, you're going to have to send her the link to do the Wayne Cook. And I want you to get your brain energy balance back. Get that back. Send her the Celtic weave so she can kick people out of her space, because so far you've been nothing but a magnet drawing other people's in. I would send that to Pilly as well. And then when you start to get a little bit right, I want you to be able to just, and send her the oh my God, putting your hand on your forehead and just sitting there with the fact that you can't sleep. Now, I would tell you, and she doesn't need to do the magnets. Does she need to rub certain points? And they said, no, it's just that now we got to start putting it back together. We haven't taken it out by the roots, but if you can just kind of, if you relate to any of this, put your hand there and leave it there. Okay? Because you believe it and you've done it so many times, you can't help but to your body saying it has to be drained. Oh, it's 2:00 in the afternoon. You have to be drained because that's just who you are, because the meridians are stuck. Oh, I don't think I got the horror points up, but if I do have the HORARY on that link, if I don't have it, then, you'll have to look it up. Otherwise, because the horror points is your body's clock and your circadian rhythms are off. If you were to look see what time it is, like right now, it is, so 11 to 1 is every 2 hours, a meridian will be in charge. So from 11 to 1, you would see what that is. And at nighttime, it's the gallbladder. So during the day, 11 to 1 is heart. Okay. Heart and gallbladder, which means.
Remember what states.
Yeah. That's, you'd have to look at your time, your own time zone. And then what you do is you find the point. So the Hara chart, look at the time, look at the points, and then AM and PM, you would rub those meridians. So if you were like looking at your time, like, oh my God, so I would rub my heart point, which I'm not sure, the one in my hand, I think that's the Hara point for my hand. And then the gallbladder point, I'd rub that. And then I would rub them about 30 times, both sides of my body. And then it starts to correct the circadian rhythms. Now, when you're first starting out and you're way off like you are, balance yourself with Wayne Cook, kick the energies out. I would do Connecting Heaven and Earth as well. Send that one to her too. You then go in and you just try to every 2 hours, just rub those points when you look on the chart. And even if you're sleeping, sleep. But if you wake up, look at the chart, rub them, and be surprised. Now, if you have a problem going to sleep, and from what it sounds like, is that most people can turn around and just rub this point right here. Give it a good 30 times on each side, and it'll calm you down. Why? Because the gallbladder meridian runs through the head, and what it does is it just keeps you awake. It keeps you in high beta. Your heart, and the reason you can't sleep is because your resting heart rate needs to drop lower than your regular heartbeat. And when your mind keeps going and your body keeps going, it thinks that you're running. And so it doesn't know it's time to rest. So you can't even hit that resting point. And this is what this does. It helps to bring it down. Now, some people, we have to go a little further and work on the gallbladder meridian so that that'll calm down and your heart will calm down. And then you can, it's time to sleep. So I don't have to be in fight, flight, freeze. You can actually calm down. That's what I would say to do with that. Okay. Now, I hope that makes sense to you, Kelly. Okay. Next on my list is Nicole. After Nicole is Lenore, and everybody get their questions and everything ready so that you can fire them off. And if not, and if you write them in there, Amy can read them to me if I can't see them. Marianne is after that. She says the highest good. And then Sonia after that. Okay. So, Nicole, who did I say? Bless it. I screwed that up. Nicole Paventi. Oh, Kelly says, thank you so much. Looking forward working with you. I appreciate your help. You're welcome. See, and the one-on-ones, that's what we do. I'm also, like I said, I'm going to be creating a group And so that we can do this stuff, and then I can do group healings. Boom, 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 so that we can start to really kick in what you need to get done. So we can do it as a group. We can do things quicker and faster and cheaper for all of you, because you have to invest in yourself. But if you don't have lots of money, then you're going to have to understand that investing in yourself would be to get onto these group subscriptions and to do the healings in group style and all of this, and to really take charge of your life and do these individual healings. Oh my God, it keeps dying. And okay, so everybody seems to be drained today, and apparently my iPad is just diggled. How can it be? Oh, it came. Sheesh, no wonder. It just came unplugged again. Okay, so sometimes we're not plugged in. That means our spirit is not plugged in. And if our spirit's not plugged in, we're not going to have any energy. Okay, that's why brain balancing. That's why you need to do heaven and earth. Oh, that died. I had no idea that it came unplugged. And half the time you don't understand when you come unplugged. Everything, this is a live reading. This is what happens when your body sits there and you send the right energy out to tell you how to do things. Okay, when you don't listen to your body, I'm going to teach you that all you are is energy. And I want to teach you how that you can change your energy, heal your energy. Who is, Nikki, are you Nicole? All right, sometimes you guys have different names. Nicole Paventa, I can't remember. If that is Nikki, then tell me what it is you want to talk about. If not, I'm going to clicky poo the thing and take off. So, Nicole, okay, so what do you want to talk about, honey? She said, yeah, that's her. Okay, see, so when I'm in spirit mode, I can't sometimes put the connections together when it comes to names. That's why when I'm talking to the dead, I can't do the name thing. I don't care how many times I try. I get that. I understand that. Oh, wonderful. Angel, that makes me feel good. You're very much appreciated, Brenda. I love learning from you. So that makes me feel good. See, this is why I don't care if my numbers are low. I want you to wake up. I'm giving you enlightenment. I'm giving you enlightenment by giving you empowerment. How am I doing that? I'm giving you the knowledge. This is taking the woo-woo out of stuff where you think that you have no power. Magic is everywhere. And if you begin to understand simplicity of what you are, you don't have to be a mystery. I mean, we were traveling around and I had a headache, and it's like, okay, no, can't get to the doctors, can't do it. Fine. Spirit, speak to me. Rub, 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 rub. Headache's gone. You can do a lot. Anxious, depression, stuck. Okay. We're going to take and look at, they're saying they want to look at anxiety. You store your anxiety. Now, some people store it in the chest, the stomach, but you store it in your nerves, which means you're affecting the autonomic nervous system. Bam, it's affecting every part of you. And they said that the panic is that you go into, is this epi? Is this, no, this is inside. Okay, so you picked it up. Is this a, no, this is her own. So you picked up inside, when? Inside the womb, at 2 months inside the womb. So you're just being this little thing that's growing, but your, whatever she was going through, you took it and imprinted it on your nerves. Okay, we're not saying blame. Your soul signed up for this shit. Now, she has multiple sclerosis. Okay. When your DNA is changed, especially at the cellular level inside the womb, Spirit is going to tell her that she is going to need to understand that this was a chakra thing. Her first chakra said that we really wanted you to hone in on how the vibration is carried very low, and that it has to do with having to live their way. You came in and you're the woman that says, I'm not going to take their shit. So you are meant to fight and resolve. Now, this is probably an epigenetic, but I feel more like this is a a timeline thing. That means it is hugely a paradigm that has been following you very specifically into this group consciousness as well. So if I look a little bit further, your first chakra is about that survival and fear. And the quantity of your physical energy is, if you were to have a 10, which is 100%, you came in with 4. But man, does your soul come in with 1,000% that it's going to Okay, so you're constantly looking at how to survive. I'm going to get past this paradigm. I'm going to do this. And that's the era and you said in this time, no matter how many timelines I've done, which means how many times did your soul come back to life and create a dream about the same issue? You're like, I'm doing it, damn it. This time I'm doing it. I'm kicking some asses and taking numbers and whatever. I don't know how that phrase goes. But you also know that you're human. And that's this machine that we live in, this meat suit, needs a little help. You had one too many survival issues that had happened. So they're saying that a part of you also took on, wait a minute, what's that called? It's in the other book. I really have it in the other book. It's a program that runs in our system that has to do with the moment that you're overwhelmed. Parts of you become energized, and some parts of you become, that doesn't work. Because if you understand how an electrical current's smooth, and then if you get a block, you got energy that may be too much and then not enough. But what they're saying is that this is a repressed part of you. This is that an unconscious pattern. And you stopped the pain going to the beloved ones. You took on what was going to happen to them. You took it on to you. You're like, I'm saving you. They can't do that to you. And so you kind of like, became the hero. And you took that shot for them. Okay. But it is what also happens is that to protect others, to stop an experience is what that's referred to, is that, but what will happen is your body will have to show you how you did it. Okay. And in this case, it looks like it's the nerves. So usually we forget something that's right before that we take it on. So, choose to forget what happened and developed a sickness. So it was too much for information to come in to process. Because it was too much information to process, then you forgot it and you developed a sickness, an illness, an issue. Now we have to get you to do the opposite of that. So something right before the moment, and now you're locked in. So understand that there, like when you have a video frame, you have pictures. And so they're single shots. And then if you move them, they'll create a moving picture. You have stored certain points before the event. So when we're healing, we're going to have to take you to a particular point. And it's whatever you can allow, because this is something that you felt was very important for your soul to do. So it's a form of a safety blanket as well. So I never take anybody's safety blanket away. We're going to go to the back door. We're going to ask you, what are you willing to heal so that you can just let go of that safety blanket all by yourself. Okay? Spiritual gangster. Yeah, that's funny. So this is what is going on with you. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. You have a lot of people on the other side that was really, it's like they were throwing papers at me. So now I just got to process it and tell them to stay away just for a minute, because they're like, well, we need to continue. We'll do that later. So we'll call upon them later. Lenore, she gets 12. What is it after Lenore? You have Marianne, and then after Marianne is Sonia. Lenore. Hey, Barb. What are you doing? You're making some noise over there, Amy.
Huh?
You're making noise. I can hear it.
I'm not making any noise.
All right, well, stop now. You want to work on that's not nice of them, or you're saying that about what happened with Nikki? Anyway, Lenore, what is it you want to talk about? You're next. And, oh, now you're eating in front of me. Reload my site. Hold on. I'm not going to reload my site. I'll lose everything. Oh. Okay, so it is reloading. That's not nice of them. 2 blocks would like to resolve. All right, now that's usually what I get from Spirit on the other side, and I have to play the charades game. But in this case, no. So you're saying you have neighbors that did something and that you want to resolve. We have to make sure that you get my brain to come into your wavelength, because I smell something with burnt toast. I'm not here. That's my energy. See, it's making that noise again.
Facebook is frozen. I'm not making any noise. There's no noise here.
It sounds like shh. Is the cat's playing here?
It's the furnace.
Well, that's just a noisy little furnace.
See, I don't hear it.
All right. So I'm trying to get my iPad to function, but I've kind of killed my iPad.
You're frozen on Facebook.
Oh.
At least on
Amy,
mine.
I want you to refresh yours. And people, am I frozen on Facebook?
No, just on my phone.
Nope. Okay, so I'm going to shut that one. And I'm going to close that one. Oh, did I close it? Oh, sure. So today it's all about interferences, things. You have to have certain connections or you can't make certain things happen. I'm trying to figure out why this is happening because I'm supposed to talk to Lenore. Why am I not able to talk to Lenore? Wow, I think my iPad just died. Well, I can't afford another one, so.
There's a package coming.
She just said there's a package coming, so I'm wondering what I'm going to get for Christmas. Okay. All right, here we go. So, Lenore, I'm just going to go. Okay, so the one thing about Lenore, you have lofty energy around you. It's how you have to obey, respond. This is the framework. This is who people are. You need to define what lofty energy is. And the thing is that why is it that you can't leave it, you can't change it, you can't control it? Why? You have to look at this. They're saying that this is something that your soul wants to work on big time, and you will notice that energy will come off these people and get louder and shoots right at you. Okay, now the question is that intentional? Oops. Sometimes. When you're doing a lot of healing like Lenny's doing, the next phase that she's going to have to do is very simply is this. Okay, so she has this energy that shoots up from her and it controls her every mood. And and she can heal, and she can do Celtic weave, and she can do all that, but now we have to train her brain. So as it comes out and aims at her, it can aim anywhere, because if she didn't exist, this will always find a target. It's meant to. So then the question is, why is Lenore a target? Why is she a target? Okay. Well, her consciousness, and now I'm fading. Okay. Her consciousness is saying that this is, I'm over identifying with matter. This is what I believe. This is what's happening. This frequency, she knows this frequency. She knows it. Do you understand? Knows. Just like she knows her name. If she doesn't heal it, then she's going to make everybody, in the external world, external world to constantly show up as lofty people that she can't control. So there's a certain amount of frequency she needs to look at. She's done all this healing. Now she's going to have to become her authentic self. She as Lenore. She has to show up as Lenore, authentic self. You understand? As her authentic self, show up as Lenore in this meat suit. She cannot look through ego anymore. She's going to have to know this energy. Put it on a scale from 0 to 10, and hers is probably 10 plus to the 10th degree of how it's stuck in her system. Now, did she try to save herself, save somebody else? Not in this case. This is how she's meant to look at her timeline. As herself begins to show up, she's going to have to see, what color am I using, which is a frequency, for the external to show up every damn time. Her ego won't let go of it. But if she were to show up as herself and look at the color and go, oh my God, they're yellow. I'm going to take back my yellow. So she'll start to pull back the yellow, and she doesn't have to think about this lofty because that's already there. But she's like, no, I'm not participating. She's learning to say no and create a boundary. All right. And so she's learning to take back and bring back her power, bring back her color. This is what she needs to do. Okay. As she begins to do this, she's going to learn their personality pattern, which means, in a way, as she becomes her authentic self, is that she gets to see their program. She does not need to personalize them and over identify with that anymore. She doesn't have to do that. You can stand back and say, oh, shit, I can see the pattern. They project this. Now, some will project that power because they don't know how to control their issue. So to center themselves, they will get shitty, violent. They will get this particular, I got to control the situation. They got to make their world make sense. And they got to become lofty to center themselves. Remember, this is their pattern. This is their personality. So when you notice that life's not going their way, at any moment, this little lofty shit going to pop out. And it's going to come at you. When you begin to notice as the authentic self that this is their pattern, you can start to predict when they're going to do 1, 2, 3. You can look at their steps. And the more you do that, the more you take back your color. And the steps they're in, you can start to depersonalize how you're so over-attached with this. Okay, you have to fire and wire of noticing. It's like driving a car. You have to learn to master the freaking flow. Do you understand? Because you've already begun to heal why you have a root. But you haven't mastered to rewire. Okay, you need to rewire the brain. Why? Because as a child, if I would say, when did this really all happen? They said inside the womb. Did you try to? No, this is just how your soul said that it needed to learn. Plus, you said, I am not going to be like that. So epigenetically, you said you're not going to be up like that. Timeline-wise, you've experienced it so many times, but you need to rewire. So when Lofty first showed up, you said, there's no way in hell I'm going to do it in this lifetime. Because you came in that generation. So you're this generation that says, no, I'm going to do it. So just like with Pilly and just like with Nikki, no, not going to do that. You have to now upgrade how you handle, cope, deal, pacify with your life, which means the old way was, oh my God, and you got to think it over and over and do 4 billion bits of information. No, stop. You don't have to keep thinking it and become anal to find out that, oh, see, they did it. Oh, they see it. So in this case, now when this happens, you have got to get out of victimization. You don't want to be the victim anymore. You become your as being, as yourself, authentic self, as Lenore. So you're going to show up as Lenore and you're going to rewire, because what wires together, that's overthinking, fires together. Which means your synapses is going to repeat it. So then you have to keep repeating the same story, repeating the same story, repeating the same story. You don't want to do that anymore. So you have to rewire it by how you're looking and saying, this is who they are. You don't have to go, oh my God, an asshole. You can if you want, but you can look and you're like, Jesus, they're just a program. They're not even human. They're trying to get a certain outcome because they got to recenter themselves. Because they can't handle it. This is how I cope. This is how I handle. This is how I deal. This is what I want. Oh, I got to have my way. It's got to look like this. But you don't have to fall victim to it. Okay? Eventually, when you start to rewire your brain, since you've worked on your emotions and since you've worked on that vibrational unresolved issue, you are doing a soul issue. And the soul issue is huge because you're going into how you've really decided to really learn about all of this issue about lofty energy. Okay, so to get to this one, in this case, you started to resolve it into the cell pattern, but you're still responding because your brain needs to be rewired. Start calling back your color. Start paying attention to who they are as the program, not as a human being. That's their program. I love that human being. That's their program. It's hard because when you become you're this human, you're going to go, I'm done. I hate it. I hate it. But what you're learning is when you hate it, okay, hopefully you've gotten all of this, because this is the tricky part next. Okay, this is what relationships, this is what the rest of the chakras, this is the self, the consciousness levels that you're going through, because chakras are conscious levels, and that's what you're doing as a soul. If you look and you're like, oh, I love them, but I hate their actions, this is a reaction. You can begin to feel where you are, so you're going to beginning to break down those reactions. You're going to say, no, I don't need to respond that anymore, and you start taking them off. You start taking your color back. You start to resolving the chemical peptide of hate. And you going to then move more into the cause and effect, okay? But it's going to be balanced. You're going to be balanced on this cause and effect. And you're going to say, I project them out to be lofty because in your case, you don't know how to stop resonating with that frequency. Now understand, frequency and vibration are different. And because they're different, you have to understand, because now again, you have healed a lot. Inside each of those consciousness that you're trying to develop as a soul, you're raising your frequency on a cellular physical level because you're creating a new hologram. And because you're creating a new hologram, you're going to create a new personal reality, which means you have to decide if you are done with it, then you have to learn to create closure to that path and the new path switch that comes in. A path switch that comes in, you got to be okay with, because this path switch is going to make you come to that beautiful space that you're meant to be in. This is where you're meant to live and be happy and joyful. Yee-hoo! That's where you're supposed to live. That's where you're supposed to live. But you can't get there if you won't allow the path switch. You have to create closures. I'm done with that. Moving on. And you'll feel like you can't do it, because if you believe, well, I can't find the job, I can't find the money, then you've got to understand how your brain is telling you how you do can't. This is an interesting one, people. Because what you can't, that's actually an emotion. That's a symptom. You have to heal. And you have to rewire your brain that says, I can't. This is called a limitation. You believed it for so long. So every time you say you can't, why am I believing in that? What's going on? We could go really deep into this shit, but her time's up. Because I can't really leads down to sometimes I don't want to. And then you have to find out why you don't. Okay? So how, in this case, yes, how you respond is the key, because then Lenore says true, very true. Okay, so what happens is that all life is that you're presenting life through the electromagnetic energies that are going on in your soul stories, your conscious. It's a lot, but we can break it down. You're welcome. Then what happens is that it's how you respond. It's how you're hooked into over it. See, what happens is that, let's just start you off. You are an observer. What's an observer? In the process, oops, what am I doing? I'm choking myself. People, what am I doing? I have no idea. Now all of a sudden I've confused myself. Stop it. I'm off center. That's a clue. You're becoming a spiritual being that's learning to grow. You're becoming a spiritual being that says, I am done with a particular way of being and living. And this level of consciousness on this new reality of this new planet is happening. You're learning how to be. I'm hearing you how to type. I'm hearing you type there, Miss Amy. So I have now distracted myself so much, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, responding. The observer. Quit typing, Amy. I can hear you. It's distracting me. Okay. The observer. So you have to remember that everything was a void. There was no color, space, time, frequency, and all of a sudden, the void contemplated, created a point called God. Now, God is going from here to there, there, and here, and there, and there. And what is it doing? It is trying to make sense of what's happening, but there's no way of knowing what there is here and there is there. So where are we going? So it decided, it contemplated, went inward, out popped a mirror consciousness. That's us, people. We have soul recorders, which makes us different than God. Now, you're the observer. You're observing life. I want to do this. Creates ideas. You're inspired. Okay, and so it boils down to how. As this hologram with the brain needs new knowledge. Without new knowledge, you are nothing but a program. You start to apply new knowledge, you get inspired to have ideas. You get to create new choices. You get to create new thoughts. You get to create new feelings. You get to create new experiences, and you get to create a whole new life. Good or bad, that's what you do. She needs, all of us need to understand that the observer, Okay, looking through the electromagnetic guiding omni-apparition. Oh my God, over-identified with matter so much. It got stuck. And you breathe life into an alter ego than who you really are. You gave life to this alter ego, okay? And now it has a life of its own. And if you keep disconnecting from spirit and you turn that off and you block it off, then you can become some of these people that you call assholes. These are aspects of yourself that you have done for eons and millenniums. You've done it. You've done it. Again and again and again. Does this make sense? Okay. Now you got to come back from that. Now you have to understand. So you have to stop over-identifying with matter. You move into your authentic self is what I'm trying to help you do. And when the more you begin to do that, you get to begin to heal how your inner world creates your outer world, and you stop creating assholes. Now, these souls all raised their hand and said, I have to work on this. I'll be the asshole in your life. Okay, you're going to be the asshole in my life. And you're like, but I'm a good person. I'm sorry. I don't care how nice of you are. You are an asshole to somebody because you have agreed. Maybe I'm being too nice or I'm being too cocky. But to you, you're normal. And everybody else says you're normal. But to them, it's their lens that they look through at you. All right. Let's look at the next person. And Mary Ann, she says that the highest good. The highest good. Mary Ann, for your highest good. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, what? Okay, so you're stuck in a reactionary state, okay? Oh, it could. But you're stuck in a reactionary state. So we have to figure out why you're here. It's how you believe, accepted, and gave your willpower. Okay? To what? Does this have to do with a timeline from past life, this life, from conception to now? You weren't even quite a month old. So you're about 3 weeks old. And 3 weeks old, you're in a habit kicked in. Okay, so in your, is this a DNA? Is this the epi? So a habit kicked in. Okay, a habit kicked in. Why? So now tell me more about this habit. And then it said that it's about how you are supposed to identify. Everything will always boil down to how you identify. That's my identity. People will die when they don't have an identity. Or if they identify with something else too much that they can't stand. Oh, hi, Leslie. But you, let's see, identity is about, guess what? It's an active memory. So you have an active memory. Does this mean that it's on top of this? Beside it. Not on top, beside. Ooh. Oh, this is firing at the same time. Well, generally you have one that's firing, but would you say this is parallel? Simultaneously, is this felt with identity? It's just the same time. There's two particular things. Is there an attachment? Is there an identity disassociated? No. You breathe life into You over-identified with awkward. This is what they call like a thought form to some degree. You over-identified with awkward. In order to take your power off without, because you accepted, believed, and gave willpower to this awkwardness, you thought, okay, so this goes back to that being 3 weeks old, but this also goes back to not wanting to accept reality. So we didn't finish healing that all out. This means another layer came up because they're saying it's the same time. That's the referring to. So not only was the job thing one, we have to look at not accepting. Even though you've accepted, you didn't want to catch up with your reality. I do not accept this reality. Nope. And it's happening. But you're like, no. And your awkwardness is like, it's happening. That you've created another part of yourself that has a lot of life force in it. So I want you to just feel and understand something here. I don't want to do this. This goes to the story of the man that got his leg blown off in the army, and he hasn't caught up with his own reality. He thinks he's got his legs. He thinks that everything's working, and everybody around him can obviously see something different. You don't want to accept in one aspect that people have contempt. That hurt like a mother. You're like, oh my God, I can't stand the word. I can't stand when people scorn me, contempt me, reject me. Now, at 3 weeks old, you put in your heart that you don't like feeling uncomfortable and that it don't like being an object, and that I'm looking for acknowledgement. So you're saying, I don't want to accept this. I'm going to look for other things because I know. And you don't want to accept. There's a part of you that feels, I'd like to say the word rejected, but you don't see it that way. You see it as that you're an object, that you're obsolete, that you're redundant. What?
Mary Ann just texted me and she wants me to tell you this, but she doesn't want it in the comments.
Okay, but it's going to be on video. Email me.
Yeah. Okay.
Email me. I'll read it. Okay. So
okay.
Hopefully that'll make sense. Did she want a response or just tell me it?
Is she trying to call you?
I don't know. That thing don't work. Well, when you send it, let me know.
Okay. I'm trying to get it copied.
Okay.
I'll just send it to you in the messenger.
That's fine. All right, people. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, the Sonia, are you present? Now, we can't call because I broke my iPad. Well, I can't take blame for it, but it doesn't work. Ooh, that's pretty big. I got to make it a bigger window. All right. I don't mean to be radio silence, as we call it, but well, that would make a lot of sense.
She was down the basement.
What's that?
Oh, I thought Lily was dead when I got home. I couldn't find her.
Okay. Well, hold on. I'm reading this out. I'm reading this in my head so that it's going to be quiet. So your joy left because of the bad news. All right. So any type of bad news, any type of chaos freaks you out. It makes your joy go away. And the anxiety in the stomach. See, he believes in something that's completely different. He handles and copes, deals with it differently, but you're stuck on a repetitive pattern. Yeah, he did not want to give you bad news because you had created that you can't accept reality about that, because there's a part of you that at 3 weeks old, something occurred and you keep reliving something over and over. We'll have to look into that, but please take notes when you come to me, and if you set up an appointment, I've got to be able to connect with something I've said, and you're the one that has to supply the notes again. And then it boils down to, did she pick him up? No, he was how he was going to be. This particular thing that's happening at the same time is saying it's still unresolved. And it's firing. And so it's like he tapped into it. Reality happened and it tapped into it. And you're like, oh my God, I know that. That's familiar. And your body went into a response, if that makes any sense. Okay. Whoops. No. Ah, good. I didn't cause it to go away. Sonia. Okay. She says, the highest good reading. Okay. Sonia says the highest good. So here's the thing. Your body's okay with just learning information. And your body could use the healing, but your body says that it wants some information. Now, the kind of information that it wants you to know is something to do with the identity. That every time you try to expand yourself, something occurs. So that's what we're going to find out. Those just start. Her. Okay, so even though, now here's the thing about you, Marie, is that you are doing your best to try to become your authentic self. You are in a state of spiritually, I should say, the ability to feel energy. Okay. The ability to feel energy is what is your spiritual aspect of yourself. But your spirit is telling you that you have to work on your ego, your identity. Now, the ego identity in this case that they want you to understand has to do with your internal dialogue, your ID, the internal dialogue. The ID card, or the internal dialogue of the ego identity, has a lot to do with your instructions to yourself. What kind of instructions would you give yourself? And in this case, it is your soul said that through your second chakra, which is the second level of consciousness, it says that it wanted to understand what it means to invalidate the self. Okay. How would it do that? It says, all right, I need to invalidate myself, but I'm going to blame you because that's the particular paradigm. Okay. your soul says, I need this. So, you know, you got your husband, he raised his hand. You got your mother, your father, you know, whoever from birth, they raise their hands. We're going to teach you what you ask for. Is how you invalidate yourself. First, you got to feel from this perspective, or the kaleidoscope of life, that each piece has a different perspective of what it is. Like, for instance, how people personally invalidate you, how you're invalidated as a whole and invalidated as a gender, and how all of these happen created the internal dialogue, the ID, which then you use to cope, resolve, manage, deal. But you didn't really resolve. Your little self thought, as it's trying to work on the soul thing, all of the things the soul's ever gone through and tried to use to resolve it, and came up with, you know, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do this. Those are still quite active. Okay? So energetically, your body has a habit of absorbing, drawing in. So here you are, and your energy field comes in is towards yourself. So this is what you do to yourself. But then you have energy that all of a sudden it's out here, and then all of a sudden it goes, oh, dee 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 dee, and it's like comes in real fast, and then it's in there. That your body and everything expands, which you think, oh, great, my aura is expanding. But at the same time, it's not. It is what's called a vortex. This vortex, now see, you are here inside this spot right here, and your end of your aura is here, but the vortex goes beyond. And since it goes beyond the aura, it sucks in everybody's shit. Comes in, and then it gets trapped into the blueprint of your authentic self. Okay? You heard me, but it's not. Your blueprint of your etheric body is holding it, which changes the physical because it's a spiritual lesson. A spiritual lesson. It's not even a regular lesson that a human would do. This is your spiritual lesson about all of this. So you need to learn, since you're very, very good with energy, is to understand that even though the chakras are vortexes, this vortex that you have, okay, this vortex that you have comes off of your body. We're going to make a stick figure, and this would be where your heart is. Okay, but and remember, you have your chakras that are lined up, but you have a few. You have a vortex around your heart, and then you have a couple in your back. Vortexes itself help you to manage and deal with your reality. Yours are expanding beyond your aura. You can do this with your chakras. You can also do it because your second chakra is involved. But you also can understand that within your second chakra, there are mini chakras that cause the chakra to function. You have two inside, besides other vortexes around your body, that are too big. Okay? They come outside the parameter. It's too big. All right, you and I play. I'm going to touch one. You have one right here. And it's huge. And it is sweeping safety, security, stability, no joy. safety, security, stability. And it is constantly searching. Oh my God, there it is. Oh my God, there's fear over there. Oh, there's a fire. Oh, tragedy over there. Your empathy switch, it needs to create a limitation, but we can't get there. Your communication with other humans is to be there. Okay. Again, you need to notice, and now you need to breathe in and out these chakras. I mean, these vortexes. Your front one has to do with your mental, receiving mental love, mental, spiritual, mental balance, but it's in chaos. And then it has to do with about your sexual energy of being a female or being. It doesn't even have to be about the act of sex, but how do you relate to the opposite? How do you relate to other humans? Okay. So you're going to take and imagine, and you can do them one by one, but if you haven't identified with them yet, you just sit there and you breathe in and out. You get connected with your breath. Because it's the second chakra that seems to be the main issue with these vortexes, is that you're going to have to learn to take your belly button and suck it to your spine as you breathe in. So there is the third, because when you suck in, lift up, it's way in there. The belly button goes in towards the spine. Okay. It goes in towards the spine. And then the first one is the floor. You do Kegels, lift that up, your butt crack and your pee-pee part. So, people don't realize you have to lift up both parts. They think that's just one. No, you can have an unbalanced perineum. Okay. But don't worry about those. Take your belly button, and you need to learn to consciously, intentionally connect to your breath. Now, when you bring that belly button in, I want you to bring it up. I want you to hold your breath and squeeze that in a little tighter so that your pineal gland can get the energy from your second chakra to feed your pineal gland so that it can open up and start to balance out, since your ability is so freaking strong there. Because we got to get your kundalini balance. Okay. Now, you can do this. You have to do this a little bit further. And that is, even if you can't get the belly button and you can't get coordinated, it's like rubbing your head and patting your tummy. You can't do that. That's fine. Now, okay, if I just concentrate on breathing, I have these vortexes. Oh, but I can feel the one she was talking about right there. I want you to breathe it in. What's this? The vortex is getting more balanced. And then you're going to notice that your aura, you can puff your aura out. You can fluff it. You can deliberately put your hands and fluff your aura, balance and fluff the aura, make figure eights in your aura. But you don't want that vortex to go beyond your aura, because then it sucks in everybody's stuff. It's not even absorbing. It just sucks it in. And then your body don't know what the fuck to do with it. So it's out here. Here's your aura. Bringing your awareness with your intention will begin to help balance that aura. And it'll balance that vortex. Now, you don't want vortexes to be sucked in. Please don't bring it in thinking you have to get rid of it. That'll cause a different issue in the physical body. You want that vortex, that's your personal vortex, to breathe and balance within that aura. You can just have it beautifully breathed out to match the tip of your aura, because it's got to go through all your seals. You can feel it, that it's okay. It doesn't have to go out and do an alarm of, oh my God, safety, security, balance. No, bring it in. And then you'll start to notice the rest of them. And then you can imagine the synchronicity. All of the vortexes are coming in and out and balancing. You can do that with your chakras too. Okay, hope that makes any sense. I gave you 10 minutes, even though you paid 11, and I asked differently, but that's okay. We worked it out. Oh, all our comments are good. Yes, right on. Bingo, bingo. Yes. She says, you're right. She's learning. Good. She's learning. Now, we have all the paids, And now we're going to do some free reads. Now I have TP. I don't know if you've got TP or not there. But TP, I'm going to do her, and then Nicole Byers, 1 minute, and then we'll go jump over to Ames. Okay, so 1 minute for TP. Teresa, mark the timestamp, please. And for her, they're saying that TP, you're not doing too bad, but here's the thing. The energy on the planet came in and said, hey, TP, you got to learn your law of attraction. You have to understand that the law of attraction, you're chasing it. You're pushing it away, but you're chasing it. Because you're pushing it away and chasing it, you're not actually allowing yourself to receive it. Because the reason you're pushing it away is because you freaking don't want to attract, which you are doing, because that's an automatic thing. Attracting hell, criticism, bitchiness, people that don't like you, reject you. Yes, you need to heal those. But you're also chasing all the good stuff. Abundance, joy, all of this. You're chasing it. And what you need to do is to heal those. But so if you can't heal those, then you're going to learn to redirect your energy and say, I'm going to attract one smile today. And you're going to train your brain, get new knowledge of how to attract goodness. I'm going to attract one smile today. Make it come out of nowhere. Make it so I understand that it did come from spirit. It could be an animal smiling at you. You're like, did you see that? God spoke to you. You're going to then put in the day 2, you're going to list 2 things. Day 3, list 3 things. And you're going to, whatever, one smile, all of a sudden a certain color, you're going to just ask God to show up in an unexpected way. And then you're going to start listing, what does my ideal self look like today? Maybe I'll have a giggle out of nowhere. Okay, you need to find out, what is your ideal self? So you're going to start to learn that law of attraction. Change it. If you can't heal certain things, you can recreate a new pattern. So Nicole Byers, or Nicole Simpson, you see a relocation anytime soon. Okay, so in this case, we're going to ask if it has to do you see one? No, I don't see one, but at the same time, we're going to look at another variable. This relocation. And they say that it has to do with you're not taking that leap of faith. You're not believing in yourself. You're not listening with your heart, because you have it here, but you have to bring it here. And in order for this subjective reality to change the objective reality, is that you have to have it in your mind and in your heart. And when you can get both of those to pump at the same time, your inner world emits a new energy, and you create a whole new outside and no external world. Your inner world creates your outer world, and you get to create. So they say that you're not allowing that leap of faith to occur. And they said that you need to allow yourself to have the experience of the spirit path of the West, which is letting go of the shit you know. Movement forward in reflection. So you have got to create closure. You don't have enough energy to do this leap of faith, because you're putting energy into this particular, this is a very pretty card. But you're not, you got to close things. You got to close things down. Don't put energy to it anymore, because it's not feeding you. Amy, what do we have?
Okay, we have Danielle Murphy.
Danielle Murphy, mark the timestamp. What does she say?
I am on your live video. I am emailing for the free reading. My name is Danielle Murphy.
All right, so that's just general. Okay, so in this case, well, sometimes people don't know exactly, because when they see me, they like, what? So they want you to, we pulled the Aries card. Now, this is to do with the cosmic deck of initiation. What part of it is that you're doing? And they say that you're being drawn into a new phase of development. The focus is an individuality. Be yourself. Know who you are. A first step has been taken greater focus on the self, a grounding, new beginnings, and aspects of coming forward. They says that, like people usually say, well, I don't quite get it. And that is simply is, do I like chocolate? Yes. White or dark? Yes. No. When you start to break those little things down, and when somebody comes into your space, no, don't really like that. Yes, I do. So you're going to start attracting more of the people that maybe are happier or all of this. If somebody is that you love is in your space and they're a piece, they're just depressed, love them. But you have to set the tone to how you're going to live as an individual. Okay. You're going to start drawing good stuff into you. And if that means that your energy is that you're supposed to expand out so they can feel that love, not express it physically with force, inside, expanding that love so that you can change the frequency in the room. So you're going to learn a little bit more about yourself. Aim next.
Kelly Schweitzer.
Kelly.
Circadian rhythm. Yes.
So she wants circadian rhythms. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. One thing about the circadian rhythms is that we're going to send her the horror points, but do remind me to do it later. You distrust. That throws the circadian rhythms off is that you distrust and you take action. So they're saying that, this is like, okay, this is my defense system. I know you're going to freaking manipulate me. I'm not playing this game with you, blah, 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 blah. And you go into the feeling of distrust, which throws off your circadian rhythm. It throws off your gallbladder, your liver. And that's wood element. Okay. And so anger will be an emotion that'll be buried. And if I ask what particular thing was throwing the circadian rhythm off, is that people use guilt, or you have guilt. They're saying get rid of guilt and then get rid of under pressure, because those two are going to keep creating a momentous thing that's happening. So if you're under pressure, you're going to have to create closure and say no, but you can't say no unless you develop like that intuition, art, music. I want you to put a blindfold on. Hold on. I want you to put a blindfold on, and I want you to turn on the music and start dancing as if no one's watching. Let it loose. Let it loose. Because your soul loves music. Go ahead. What's the next one?
Okay, Patricia Henson. Do I have more than one guardian angel? And she put this all in the subject line, so I can't read the rest of it.
Oh, you can't open it? It won't open?
She wrote it all in the subject line, right, instead of doing it.
Okay, but I just didn't know if it could open when you open it, if you could see more.
No, it won't.
Can you move your little tab button over? Because sometimes if my little correspondent button is covering it up, I can't see the rest. So if I slide the tab.
No, I've got it as wide as I can.
Okay. So who are they is what she asked. Okay.
Yeah. Is there more than one?
All right.
Guardian angel.
Yep. All right. So then here we go. Okay. So first of all, you came in this world and you have your guardian angel of yourself, which sounds crazy, but you have to understand we're all one. And you haven't tapped into that one part of yourself because you don't trust yourself yet. So that means you're going to have, and so you had one that's a charge that said, I will help you in a certain situation. I'm an androgynous, which means I don't have a male or female. You want to identify with me, then you can give me a name, either male or female. We can learn to communicate. Now, this one has been with you ever since you were conceived inside the womb. And it has been doing its best to guide your footsteps. And that one I feel like has led you to me. Now, you have 4 very specific guardian angels that, if you want to call them guardian angels, but these are angels that are charged into making you help you open up certain paths. Okay. And again, they don't have to have certain names because now you have someone that's very much a loved one. And these are, I'm just going a little bit further. You have loved ones. You have 15 loved ones that some of you that died. Some of them are from another past life. Some of them are from your soul's pattern, and they are there to help guide. Now, ones that you want to communicate with, I would definitely say the one that the first one, you give a charge, you get to know them, and you get to communicate with that. You can call them out as 1, 2, and 3, give them as numbers or letters until you identify with them, but you can build a relationship. To call them by specific names. Do you have any specific name like Archangel Michael, any of these particular ones? Yes, you have 2 that are coming to you, and you have Saint Germain. Oh, you have a Saint Germain, the healer. So he says if you got more into the purple heart and the violet flame, you would be, you would, see, I was attuned to the purple heart and the violet flame Reiki. So I have my hair doing some weird shit back there. And, but it is learning how the energy moves. The, who's the other one? Oh, you actually have a female goddess that, where is she? I moved you. I did. Good point. Stop. This one. Athena, you have inner wisdom. Athena, the goddess, wants to help you. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. So you have very specific ones: Saint Germain and Athena, goddess and saint. But they want you to get to know the other one, and you can do that easily by getting a deck of cards. And then you have to always, once you develop the pattern, you'll have no problem of it. Who is it next?
Okay, it is Lori M.
Lori M.
Can you ask Spirit what messages they have for me, and what do I need to work on for the next month?
Oh, wow. I just ran into a brick wall. Not me. You have. I mean, literally, I followed that energy and it was like, bish. So much so that it made me forget. What was the question? Look at what she needs to work on in the next month and what?
What does Spirit have for her, and what does she need to work on?
This is freaking huge because you hit the wall. You have to work on why you feel like you're completely drained. The Isis deck says that the talisman of potency, sacred tools and objects can become an extension of your energy field, focusing your power and your intention, helping you heal and split between spirit and matter, bringing physical matter more deeply into light and life. You are encouraged to work with the sacred materials in a conscious way to help your own healing and enjoyment of material world as part of your spiritual practice. Get yourself a pendulum, get yourself a wand, get yourself a deck of cards, and start to connect with that particular part of your spirit. The particular wall that you have is that you have great anxiety, because in the back of my mind, I can hear someone say, "Oh, that's just not right. That's evil." Whatever paradigm, religion, church, whatever it is, they're asking you to let that go because you're not able to. Even if it's somebody else's, there's a part of you that it's still there. So it is a connotation that you need to look at. Okay. Anybody else?
Okay, Marianne.
Okay.
She wants to know what her next steps are in her journey.
Besides healing, we already talked about that. As the mother of life, when life seems dry, depleted, filled, and repetitive tasks are simply stagnant and stifled, Isis, the mother of life, holds an ability to receive even the most numb, resistant, and difficult circumstances in your life. She calls to you now, seeking to bestow gifts of life upon you. Behold and be brave, open arms and receive. Now, there's a part of you that needs to do this, but a part of you is scared shitless because you feel like you're being controlled. I'm going to have to ask my one friend that's an exorcist to be able to look at your energy field, because I feel you have a connotation to, like what I just from the last one, about that evil feeling of sensation, but it's also about how you did not want to let go of it. But I don't see something there, but I'm just going to double check to make sure, because you have such great fear. It could be a past life thing. So we're going to look a little bit deeper. Now, what I would definitely say is that you really need to get this response pattern of panic, even though you have a lens, and would you say an eye accessing? No, it's not that. A specific, no, it's just, I go there. It's my go-to. So you have made friends with your panic as your best friend. You trust your panic more than you trust anything else. And that is going to stop you from really diving in who you are. So even though I have panic, okay, even though I don't feel panic, even though I feel upset, even though there's panic, and I need you to identify, define it, write it, look at it, how you apply it. You notice your husband does not use panic the same way. He was more concerned about you than it was about being maybe losing his job. And, you know, all of this, I think I just screwed up. But anyway, there's that panic. You just panic because what if somebody finds out information? What if somebody finds out information? What if somebody finds out? What? Did you just hear it? What if, and again, you don't want to connect into that part of yourself just yet. What if you find out? What if, so right now you are so much, your eyeballs are huge. You're looking. And you're more worried about what they're going to see, because if they see you, how do I put that? It's like self-conscious, but it's not that you care about what they think. There's a control factor that you think that if they get a piece of information, they're going to use it against you. Like I had to heal out years ago. If they found out about my fears, they're going to use it against me, which is what they did. And then I had to heal that belief out, and then they couldn't hold it against me anymore. I'm like, really? Yeah, nice try. Next. Anyway, what? Next.
Okay, Mary wants to know what she needs to work on.
Is that Sonia? Okay. You have to write down your habits. Your habit of reaction. Your habit of and it's all about thinking. Your habit that you have to protect yourself, or habit that I better not say that, because you're addicted to certain things. It's a habit of, I need to control the situation by, as he says, playing sick. Okay. Does that even be true? We don't know. But it does sound like a twisted belief system somewhere somebody put into you. Little tiny things is what I'm hearing. I think some of these things that are habits that are just because other people, you know, are. And the thing is why do you tolerate? Oh, shit. Really? Get a damn fly swatter and swat that man. Stop it. Just literally maybe create a new, I don't want you to create violence, but good God, he's driving me nuts. And I'm not even you. Okay. Just to let you know. Okay. Why would you need to predict him to do that? Now, see, I didn't even click that minute, but you have to have a certain amount of anguish. Seriously? And you have to have a certain amount of bullied. He has to show up as this way because this is what you knew as a kid. Well, that's what I'd say you have to heal, is that this is somebody I love, and I have to accept their behavior, and this is somebody I don't love, and this is their behavior. You haven't healed how you react, respond, how you dislike, how you're like, I am not going to play that game. I don't like that in my space. But at the same time, the more you said no, the more it comes in. The more you said no from the past, the more it comes in. You need to heal how you said no to these things and heal those emotions out and control those vortexes. Go ahead. Anything else?
No, just me.
Okay. Now, Ames. You're going through some anxiety right now, sweet cheeks. Why are you going through some anxiety? The anxiety. Let me look. Now, see, here's the thing. Do I have permission to say whatever I want? I mean, with certain discretion. You're like, that's a loaded. Yeah, that's a loaded question. Okay. Amy has been doing what Americans or other humans have done, and that is, I have to take medication in order for this symptom, for this thing that's life-altering and life-threatening. I have to do this. She was taught at a very young age that, oh, you have an issue? Here, take a drug for it. And she's coming up to saying, I really don't want to have to be on medication. This era is over. I'm going to take charge of my physical body. And so her physical body is saying, oh, really? Yay. Okay. Really? No, we have to go back to, no. So there's a little bit of an anxiety. Now, if I ask Spirit what's really happening with her, and it is the confusion between her spirit and her body. She said she was on certain medication. I said, well, it's funny because you do not act as if you're on it. She says, well, I've been on it for so long that it's used to it. And maybe it doesn't work anymore. Does that make sense there?
It sure does.
Okay, so they're saying that you have a phobia. And the phobia has to do with direction, sound, which way sound comes. Not location, but the direction. So you have a phobia of which way something sounds comes at you. Is it coming to you? Yes. The direction in anywhere above, anywhere below, anywhere to the left, anywhere to the right. So it's directly to the left and to the right. It's not in front. It's not in back. You're like, anything that comes from my left or my right, I have a phobia with, because the feeling is a vibration that has to do with the contrast. So you hear people's contrast. You hear, like when you took your aunt and she had a contrast of what was going on outside. And so how you responded to her was that you took blame for her feeling like that. And yes. But it's the intensity. It triggers in you to go back to about 1 year old. This one has been covered up for a while, apparently. It's about awkwardness. Do you feel awkward? When you feel them, any sound of contrast, you feel awkward. That you take your energy field and you contract them in through the meridians. Chakras? Vortexes? Meridians. You contract in the gallbladder, the lung, and the stomach. When you do that, it's like taking a nice healthy vein and shrink it down to where it's like and blood has issue trying to get through. This is the issue of energy to come through. So as you're saying, I don't want to hear this, and I shrink, then what happens is that you know that the attention you're going to get from them is not going to be pretty. The attention you're going to get from them is that I'm more important than you are. And that hurts. I mean, this little girl inside says, my auto response is that I'm supposed to feel awkward and I'm supposed to panic. And then and then this is where she stopped growing. She has an arrested development. It just literally is stuck. And then you can feel their jealousy. Do you feel jealous? Do you feel their jealousy? That you're getting attention? Whose jealousy do you feel? Now, for instance, you're going to go back in time. You were sorry, I'm not trying to insult her. Understand, we have talked. Your program says that you're a replacement for the dead daughter.
Yep. My brothers, my parents.
Interesting. So I can understand how the brothers would be jealous of you because you are this ultimate save the family baby. How did your parents get jealous?
I believe they played each other.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
See, and the hard part is if you're second, I don't want to say this, but she's used to being second best. She's not Amy. She's the replacement of whoever this is. She's never really been seen, heard, or loved. So yesterday when I showed the world to her, you know, she's beautiful. I mean, here I am. I'm Amy. And she's like, okay, we're going to work on our shit and the whole world's going to see what. Oh, I don't care. Go ahead.
Mhm.
For the first time, somebody's going to get to see her, to understand her, to love her, and to be Amy, not the replacement Amy. Not the, does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Now, you're entering a space with me. You have been told by countless psychics and things, including myself, that you have a world opened up to Amy. Amy. That's why I think there's a part of you has to have a new name. That's, you know, like I call you AIM, because it's about you. For the first time, you get to be seen. This gets to be your. How old are you, dear?
I will be 48 on the 30th.
So 48. So it started like maybe 47, maybe 46. It's Amy finally gets to be Amy. Her parents have passed. There really isn't a lot of connection to family, so she doesn't have to live up to protocol or to traditions or to their belief systems. And by God, guess what? Amy discovered that she likes girls. I can't do that. That's wrong. Wait. They told me I couldn't. You never would have going to allow yourself to say, this is who I am in front of these people. And she's going, but you can now. You can now. And even though you have some family that still would reject, you're like, I don't care what you think, because you're getting some balls. You know, she's carrying them up here, but she's getting them. She's getting them for the first time in her life. She's like, I get to own Amy, not the replacement. I don't have to be second best. I get to be, wait. How does this look? I mean, for the first time, she gets to say, I want to do this. And she did it. She's like, I can do it. Okay. I can do this. And she's such a great person to talk to hang with, to be a best friend. She's to sculpt herself that this is who I am. And people would be stupid. You know, but the thing is that if you ever gone home and you morphed back into your little self and your mother and you morphed back into some being who it is who you were before. And you're like, oh, I don't like going back there. But I had a friend that she moved from states, you know, from East Coast to the West Coast. And she went home 10 years later and all her friends remember her as that age, as that person. And she is like 100% not that person anymore. And they kept trying to fit her in the box. And she's like, what the hell is going on? I know. And then she caught herself going back in the box. She's like, wait, no. And then it didn't matter. She's displaying who she is, but nobody could see her because everybody had these filters. For the first time, she gets to wake up and have this urge that I can be Amy. And then she can be herself, not the replacement. And she gets to have friends and family and she's getting to sculpt for the first time. Feels good, don't it?
It does. It
And
does. It
so
really does.
when she went into an old, you know, she hasn't created closure to a lot of things. And so when she went back to that old path, it created all this anxiety. And her body's going, oh, shit. And this is a spiritual experience as well. And so that's why I said, well, Aim, you know, I want people to know more about you. And she has no problem with people knowing her because, first of all, she's a great person. And she's developing her skills. I mean, she's very artistic and she needs to dive in that further. I mean, Medicine Woman Solution, we're going to be creating a line of jewelry or a line of tools, kits, you're going to get them from her. And you're going to get my energy, Amy's energy. You're going to get spirit and bode energies. You're going to be able to get these magical things. And all they are is a very high frequency that's going to be help you to tap into things that you, as a human, as becoming a spiritual human, you're moving into the next part of who you are. But Amy's getting to discover that when she goes back into the old patterns, her body's going, oh, hell no. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? And all it is that her soul is saying, can you resolve this now? Now, were you aware that your body went into that reaction of anxiety? I mean, she's like, oh, my triple warmer's going off. Something's happening. I don't quite get it. But she's done enough healing now. Instead of just being a victim to it, she's like, Brenda, what's this?
What the heck's going on?
Huh? And you mean I don't have to just sit there and take it? So she said, my triple warmer going on? She's learning the language. She's learning to understand. She's building that muscle. And then she learned something today. Did that surprise you that you reacted that way with your aunt?
Yeah, it did.
See, and this is the shit you need to know you don't even know you're doing, that you need to heal from so that she can grow and not have to be this old pattern. You don't have to have physical issues. Her type, you got type 2 diabetes. You said this came on afterwards. Yep. Her body, once we get it to go energetically and her body begins to lose the weight, her body begins to learn to take nourishment where it needs to. And she learns these points of rebalancing as her body's reforming and reshaping into who Amy really is and not the Amy that she's supposed to be, according to everybody else. She's going to be her authentic self. And that means a whole new body will start to emerge, a whole new person will emerge. And she can actually heal from this diabetes. And probably just from food alone, but it's not always just about the food. It's the frequency and the thought and the patterns. So good catch on how today's event was. Okay.
Thank you.
Now it's still going off just a little bit. You held it on your head, but you feel like you were attacked. Not that you're going to be attacked. You felt like you were attacked. It's like, how dare you bring me to this, Amy? You should have told me. You should have known better, Amy. So you're going to need to hold R1D because a part of you is now I got to overcompensate. I got to correct this. I got to go apologize. I got to go. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this. You understand? Okay. You guys are doing good. Kelly says, I hate to exercise, but so ready to build that muscle. Do you know that you have a meridian that affects your muscles? There's a spot in the gallbladder meridian that affects all tendons and ligaments. And if your gallbladder is going off and you have an issue and you're creating units with your gallbladder, in this case, you could be spinning out, have bitterness, which is anger and resentment. The two together may create bitterness. My brain just went blank. Galled, stubborn, emotionally repressed, depressed, indecisiveness, intolerance. Oh my God, that's a huge one. You just can't take it anymore. The fear of being controlled, overpowered, envy, justice. Okay. Any of these things are going on. You could take and affect that acupuncture point that's on your leg, which belongs to the gallbladder. And all of a sudden you feel like, God, my ligaments hurt today. What did I do? Did I exercise wrong? That could create a flare-up. Or did I eat something wrong, which can create a flare-up because it's called a physical stress. You'll create physical stress and a chemical stress that's along with the emotional stress. So you got 3 stressors that happen at the same time. But if you go back and you begin to heal the emotional stressor and you take control of the gallbladder point and you've healed the gallbladder point and you keep retraining it like a muscle, your brain fires and wires differently. Your whole body starts to rebuild the new as being you, your authentic self. So you learned about as and ID today. I would like you guys, for the remainder, whoever listens to this, write on my wall. What do you think about the id? You know, the identity, and what do you think about the authentic self, you know, as being you? You know, whatever today's event, hey, come on my wall. Just start talking to me. Let's have a conversation on my wall. Let it not just be memes. Let's us work together to educate other people that come to my page, because people need to know that they don't have to just be an object in this planet. We're done. We can change the hologram. And so I appreciate you all being here. And
we have one more.
God, I thought we did. I could feel it. Go ahead. What is it?
Go. Okay, it's from Sarah Bailey. Why have I been having premonitions and waking up to old songs in my head?
Okay, beautiful. So AIM, I gave you 15 minutes. Just let you know. All right. So the premonitions is that your ability is starting to wake up. You're learning how to communicate through your authentic self, but you're still receiving too much of it in ego. And they want you to pull into you that the premonitions, there's a part of you that misunderstands why they're happening, so it creates a discourage. And what'd you say? Premonitions and what?
Old songs in her head.
Old songs are meant to be this. Like what I teach my students is that you go in and I want you to take the old song. I want you to look at the lyrics. And what is it telling you? There's a story. What's it telling you? Because then you're going to take that. If you're having the old songs, like I'll have an old song and I'll say, Amy, what's this about? Or I know it's meant for me. But it's about what the situation usually I'm going in or going through, or I'm going to go through. And then I go and that's called a whispering opportunity. And then I go in and I use a healing tool and I heal out because I'm aware of it, you know? Sometimes I need to be inspired by songs and then I will get grooving on it. But most of the time, like my daughter goes, Mom, the song was in my head. What's it mean? And then sometimes 2 or 3 songs will tell a story. And then sometimes it'll be, she was picking up energy environment. And she's like, oh shit, you can see that through the way the song is. So it's a way about spirit is trying to communicate with you. It's a way that now I want you to understand. To become your authentic self and your spiritual human, there is an actual path that's side by side with where we're living. Here we are. Ego. Spirit. I'm trying to get you, not trying, I am. With you, you can move and live and expand it so that you can be in the authentic self position, look at your human self, and see your spiritual path. And you're going to learn how to do more of the spiritual path on top of being your human self. So you don't have to be the victim. You don't have to be that. You will wake up and then you're like, oh, I'd like to see one smile today. Okay. You're training yourself to see spiritually in a human world. And then you can look at the chaos and say, oh, this is a story that's talking to me. Do I need to, accept, give my belief to, and give my power to? No. Oh, I'm creating this because of this. So you're learning how to live in a spiritual path through songs, through premonition. You don't need to see it as scary, because if you see it as scary, you don't have enough information. The more information you get, the more new knowledge, the more you're going to create a new track, and the more that you're going to build that file system up inside so you can communicate with spirit like I do. I hope that's enough. I hope that helps. Let's see. The song this morning was Clearwater Revival. Oh, I wonder who will stop the rain. So that's interesting. So you look up those words, who will stop the rain? Like, for instance, people, let's see if I can do this correctly. I don't feel like leaving just yet, so just to let you know. Amy, I don't have any clients yet, do I? Am I good?
No.
Okay, so I'm good. So
you're good. You only got me.
And then my husband when he gets home. Who will stop the rain? Okay. So we're going to take and here we go. We're just going to listen listen for a second. Oh, you know what? We can't because YouTube will kick my show off. All right, I'm sorry, Patricia and Tammy. Tammy Stevens is just arriving. Okay, what I'll do, I can't play the song because I don't want to be censored. So I'm going to take this copy, go over. Now, I usually listen to the lyrics, but we're going to do it another way, which is you can take the lyrics and it says, as long as I can remember, the rain's been coming down, clouds of mystery pouring. So you have a negative emotion that's always appearing. Then you're like, who will stop it? So you went and you seek it out. So as I went down Virginia, seeking shelter from the storm, caught up in the fable, I watched the tower grow. Okay, 5-year plans and new deals wrapped in golden chains. And I wonder still. So they're telling you the emotion is still there. Who will stop it? And I will tell you, who will actually stop it will be you. Heard the singers playing, how we cheered for more. The crowd then rushed together, trying to keep warm. So group consciousness is doing this as well. Still the rain kept pouring, falling on the ears. I still wonder who will stop the rain. You have to remember, you're looking outside yourself saying, who's going to stop the rain? I want you to look inside and understand no matter where you're at, you're the tool. You have all of the answers and the gifts that you need within inside yourself. Okay. If your premonitions, tell me, is one of your premonitions good, bad? Play with me a little bit, Sarah. Because you can start to connect it. If they're connected together, you learn how to live a live meditation, which is you're living and taking your brainwave and you are learning to intentionally live. So you're taking that information, you're like, there's a particular emotion. So what is it, the particular emotion for her that she needed to take care of? And they're saying that very simply, it is over time feeling petrified. And it's something that you can feel. It's something that you're not even sure, but if you do something towards yourself, can I be more than myself? Can I go out and get a good job? Can I quit this one and still survive? She says they are just an everyday premonition. In bed. Oh, good. So you are allowing yourself to use an ability that says, oh, I get to see a little bit of ahead of a time what it is. Whether it's good or bad, here's the thing you get to do. You get to look at it and say, I can start to make my day. Anything bad it's asking you to heal. Anything good is that you want her to heal something. You want her to add something. Okay. So in your next day, you're like, so there's a cloud that's following you. Find out what it is, heal it out, because it says this is what you do to yourself. And now you can say, I don't have to. You can give yourself a new set of instructions so the premonitions and things can start showing you something different. And you're just showing yourself a particular timeline. Now, they said that there's something very monumental. Why do I have such trouble with this? What's the word I want, Amy? Monotonous. That's it. There's something monotonous that you're doing. That literally is that I have to do this. It's like when somebody has to go to work every day and they hate their job. It's monotonous. I have to do this. I have to do this. It's a build up. It's a build up. Who's going to stop the rain? You are. How you're going to stop it is you're going to take, for instance, anything that's causing this emotional stability, and then you're going to heal it out. And when you do, everything starts to shift. I have a headache. I go inside. I'm the tool. I will rub my points. I will heal out the emotion. I'll feel better. I don't need bells and whistles. They're great. But you are learning how to live as your authentic self and as being you. But you don't have to learn on the external to make you survive. One of the huge things is in America is everybody's got to buy. I haven't bought anything in the last few days. I don't buy anymore. Not because I don't have the money or I don't want to. It's just that I am not controlled by the alarm that the United States has that says you have to spend. And you can listen to George W. Bush. Wait, not senior, the second one. The second one. That he says the only way to get out of this crisis is to create an economy. And that vibration, When I go to stores, I can hear the vibration. Bye, 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 bye. You know, look at me, bye, bye, bye. I can feel how, oh, I got to hide this because I'll put it behind the second one. I'll put it in the third one because I don't want somebody to take this. I'm going to take it. So I'll hear products talk to me, bye, 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 bye. And then I'll buy one and I'll take it home. Why the fuck do I want this? It's not even, it's because I heard somebody put their energy on it. The stores, bye, bye, bye. And all of a sudden I'm buying. Oh, it's bye, bye, bye. Now I love Christmas time. I love to give. I love to do things. But it's not about that. I miss the commercialized Christmas because we don't have it here. We have Christmas, but we don't have it here like we have it where there's snow and there's decorations. And the thing
has to be different.
Oh, it's extremely different. And the thing is that the energy of the vibration, and I now know myself so well. I know I need a new egg timer. But really, is there anything wrong with it? A little duct tape doesn't fix. It's not that I need something new. I'm going to wear that down to the ground. I'm going to see how good I can make it until all right, fine, I'll get a new one. It's not because I'm reluctant in a petty pincher. That's another belief system. I upgrade. I upcycle. I mean, you look at my island in my kitchen. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 coffee tables. Then I had a new kitchen counter put in, and where they cut out to put the sink, I use that as top of my island. I have a upcycled island. I know, and I love it because all the little pockets is everything that's for me. Instead of me going, oh, I have this drawer here. I've made my own little pockets. This whole office, I found this cabinet my husband found that somebody threw away. He brought home. I found this as I was walking home. There's a 3-tier shelf. I just, they threw it away. I picked it up, brought it home. I've got 1, 2, these cabinets I found on the side. I found this one. My friend called me up. Hey, there's a black cabinet on the corner. It's a cubicle. You'll love it. And I went down there, picked it up, brought it home. I got everything. I was walking. I said, I need this. And I'm walking in the dark, and I literally tripped over it because I walked across to the corner, and somebody put it around the corner. And I says, oh, well, thank you, Spirit, because I'm learning not to chase. I'm learning to draw. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 items in here that I just drew to me. I didn't have to pay for. It's not because I'm cheap. It's just that I asked Spirit, I need something. What do I need to do? Spirit says, oh, there it is. Oh, here, you can have it. I mean, Lenore, when I got here, Lenore says, oh, you need things. And I'm like, I do? And shit, when she gave me stuff, it's like, oh, I can see what I did. I manifested things. Amy, same way. I got this shit lying in my house. Okay, we bartered.
Brenda,
put
me up so they can see what the bobble is doing.
Oh, let's see if I can. Come on, turn. Now, I don't know if any of you can see this. This is Amy working on her kitty cat. Okay, I got to shut this off. Working on her kitty cat with a bobble wand. The bobble wand is aimed at Lily's butt. Okay. And right now it's clearing, and it's getting ready to, see, it just pointed down further towards her spine. And one thing is that Amy when she was taking care of a baby, the baby had like colic or something like that, kept crying all the time. I says, use the bobble wand. So she did. And the baby stopped crying. She's like, what? I says, all we are energy.
That was awesome.
We were just energy. I mean, she said it was awesome. And then I said, use it towards yourself. Like if Marie bought a bobble wand, then she would take, for instance, Marie's probably not here now, but remember how I taught about the vortexes? Spirit, show me. Oh, I did? I really did? All right, I believe you. I still don't believe myself, do I? See, you're just taking and going based on a memory. See, me and the Spirit sometimes. Not that we argue. It's to my right. My left or your right. Anyways, the bobble wand is, she bought a bobble wand off of Amy. Amy, you've seen that I had like how many here yesterday?
A bunch of them.
Yeah. Guess how many I have now?
Are they in the case thingy?
No, I just looked. Okay. The bobble wand, she could take and use it on her meridian or her vortex that are sticking out. Even though her arm's not long enough, doesn't matter. You can aim it this way and draw it in. Or she could use her imagination and her intellect to go in a different fashion. Your imagination is, you can make yourself small. Like you start off small, and you can use I don't have my pendulum or my bobble wand, but a bobble wand you can use. See, like right there, like I could be working on her vortexes, her chakras, and saying I asked for it to change, and so it changed and energy shifted in me. We're going to learn, and you take certain classes from me, you're going to learn how to troubleshoot so that you can be the best healer you possibly can, because there's no sense for anybody to have to go through a set of hell. I have people that still say they can't do something, but then I said, well, did you address this issue? No. Come back to me when you've addressed the issue, because then you'll be able to do it. Wow, Ames. This is funny as get up. I didn't go anywhere. They didn't go anywhere. They were right here. I had all three.
Are they under something?
See, I didn't turn my little head. You'll have kits. There will be a energy clearing kit that'll work on the physical body or your space. You'll have where you have to use certain oils like sage and cinnamon. You'll have to use different things. You'll have to use a magnetic bobble wand to work on your meridians or certain magnetic pockets in your house. This is a normal bobble wand. And see, it's taking off. You have to hang on to it, because if you don't hang on to it, they can go sometimes really wild. If you don't know how to use them, then you have to practice and intentionally move until you can get the feeling. You have to train your brain and your body to communicate with this. Just like it communicates with this. We'll teach you all of these things. But like, for instance, you have all right, so oh, see, I just found one. Okay, so now it's going to, see, and I can feel it. So it's clearing out something that I had in my ear. And now I can feel it in my hand where it points. Can you tell when yours starts pointing?
Uh-huh.
And it changes direction. Now it's breaking it up. Okay, so like if I go to Marie, can we play for a minute? Marie, are you there, darling? Okay. So Marie, once she said yes, I'm going. So this one is to do with incense. You take a Q-tip and then you can dip it into deliberately using specific things. You can use this as an energy healing. You can use it on distant healing, and you are fusing, we'll teach all that. And then a magnetic. Now that we found a new way, this is just an old way. I couldn't find a tool to drill holes. Good. She said, yes, I can play. But this was an old way of magnetically changing the meridians. Ooh, apparently I needed that. Okay. But we're going to take in with Marie. Now I'm going to imagine that Marie's this. Okay. So this is her size. So she's right here on me. So we're going to ask Spirit. And now I'm going to look for Marie. See, she's got one right here. And so Marie, I'm working on Marie now, and I want her to tell me whether or not she can feel it. Now, I found the tip of it. It's on the outside. And, wow, it looks like it's got a silver energy in there. Now, my hand's deliberately being pushed out. I can feel it. And now notice that it's starting to break. It's not making a complete circle. And my hand's turning sideways, so it's not even directly facing on with it. See, now look at this. The vortex is over here, but the vortex is actually taking a different shape. And now it's bringing it back. And see, do you feel that? I mean, I wish you could understand. I'm not moving my hand. Now the energy is changing by, it's connecting. Now it's going backwards, and now it's connecting. It's down to another chakra to balance out. I don't know if it went down to the first area, but the vortex is going down part of the leg. It's coming up. Something to do with the outside of the aura of your head. So this is not just working on the vortex now. Now it's connecting to all of the tentacles or the streamers. There it is. Now it's stopped. And you can literally feel how it stopped. Okay, now I'm going to ask, do we need to balance anything? And it just said, so this would be no, this would be yes. So is there anything we need to balance? No. Was it already balanced? Yeah. So however it is, it just did it. Now, I feel all of a sudden a rush of energy running through Marie. Talk to me, Marie. Tell me about what's going on. Even though I think you're typing, there must be that darn heater.
Yeah, because I got one hand on the cat and I'm holding the bobble wand with the other.
And she's still bobble wanding the kitty. She says, wait until you get to my chords. Did you feel anything, Marie? Because normally she does. Now, I felt it. Now, if she can't feel it, it might be because I'm not working on the outside of that particular aura. And it can, no chords. Okay. Question mark. Did you see, she's question mark. Did you see me use this bobble wand on you just now? I just held up this doll as a representation of you. She didn't have any connection with that. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, normally she can give that feedback just because she has such a sensitivity to energies. But anyway, there's lots of things we're going to be doing. Be prepared that when you learn anything from me, it's not going to be fluff and stuff. You're going to get meat and potato. You're going to get those damn vegetables. You're going to get all the, side trimmings. Why do I say it like this? That is because you are worth knowing how to do your phone's dying. You are worth to remove the mystery. You also can then dive into the excitement of that mystery. I don't know exactly how they're all going to look. I just know that by January 1st, we're going to start one course. We're going to do one subscription, and we're going to say it's going to be, I think, $44 for the $44 for the month. And we're going to do live events. We're going to create a community. It's so important to create a community. You need fellow buddies, tribes people. You need all of this. And we're going to, then after that is where it's going to offshoot into other things. And then we're going to create different classes and different stuff. And yes, it will cost, but you're also going to understand you're going to invest. You're going to grow. You're going to be on the fast track because you're going to be connecting with that energy that's going to take you on the fast track. Because there are people that can be on the spiritual growth and they've done it for years and they haven't really moved. And then you can get hooked into certain things and then boom, you're going to be doing it leaps and bounds, because the faster your brain says you can have it, the more you're going to get it. And you're going to get, because if you're scared, if I started levitating, you're like, what the fuck? You would reject reality. But the more your brain starts to fire and wire differently, the more you're going to accept, and you're going to boom, 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 boom. And it's going to become second nature. It's going to be like fluid of movement. You're going to not have to be jerky or think the steps. It'll just happen. That's what they have planned. And I happen to be the instructor, and we're going to have, if you don't want to do groups and you don't want to do that, then we're going to have just videos that you can learn onto your side. But you got to remember, the more you learn on your own, it's fine, but you're going to need to connect somewhere so that you can say, oh, well, it didn't work for me. Well, you got to remember, you need to connect into everything. I'll use all the tools. Marie said, why did it go sideways? Sometimes a straight line is not a straight line. We're not linear. We are spiral. When you're looking at, you know what a flower of life is? I don't have the picture of the flower of life. But the flower of life is circles upon circles upon circles, okay? But if you turn it, you can find all of like the square, the hexahedron, all of the different shapes of the universe of life. You're going to find Metatron's cube. You're going to find the frequency generator. You're going to find life. That's why it's called the flowers of life. And it's made up of frequency, sound. It's made of numbers. It's made of that. That's all you are, is energy. Okay. So when it started to go straight, because that's what the vortex looks like, within your vortexes has mini vortexes. And those can get damaged, cut. They can be bent. They can be twisted. They can be hooked in. They can be pulled off course. Yeah, that's the word I'm trying to say. And, so it can do many things. So you can't strict it. You have to at least build a filing cabinet. You learned how to do what you need to do, and you need to take that energy and flow it. You got to make a communication process. You got to build the bridge, and you've got to just be with it. All right, you guys. Before I go, any questions? Got one more? That's why I thought. Okay, go ahead. I don't know. I might accidentally turned you down accidentally with my thumb. Just a minute. Oh, I did. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it's Lillian, and I would love a message on moving to a new place. My lease is up in February, but I wanted to stay at this place until I find a home to purchase. Thoughts from Spirit.
Tammy, I got your question too. Okay, so she wants to stay in this place, but her lease is up. Now notice how you may want to reject change. What if your spirit wants you on a new path? You have to look at that you're not going with the flow of it. You're going into loss and fear. Does that make sense? Loss and fear? When you're like, oh my God, I got to do what? Oh my God, I got to do what? Now, that means a bitch slap can come your way. But if you're like, spirit wants me to move. Oh, okay. Do I have to move? Like I had this woman, she swear to God, she had to move. And I said, well, do this, this, and this. And all of a sudden she did. And the next thing you know, she goes, oh, I don't really have to move, do I? I says, not unless you want to. And so for you, is she going to be, and the thing is for you, it is about, see, you're trying to find that particular part of your home. And you feel this lofty energy is telling you that this is how you have to behave. So notice the color of your energy field that's leaving, that makes you believe that you have to do this. And there's a part of you that's not trusting. So notice that you're outside of yourself answering. Go inside, be who you are, and say, okay, Spirit, am I supposed to move? If you were to set aside the irrational thinking, are you supposed to move? Yes. Are you supposed to move a home, house? Yes. And are you supposed to you're supposed to take action into your new part of yourself. Otherwise, you're going to create a loop of overtime hopelessness. Oh, shit, this is what's got to happen again. Oh, this is going to happen again. They're saying, no, they want you to stop that thinking, oh, God damn, I got to fucking move. Yeah, I want you to look at any of the reactions. I want you to I feel so sorry for you. No. What is Spirit trying to do? Take and look at this from another direction. So yes, if you were to look at it from that point of view, then the variable starts to line up to show me that you do need to move. Now, Tammy says, I clearly heard the voice of an enemy speak to me. Hi, Tammy. What is that? Clearly is as if I was on the phone and I could see his face, daughter's new husband. He's very controlling, threatening. Is it? You have to look at something very specific, because I feel you're out in your external environment instead of becoming safe inside yourself. There is a connection to an awkwardness, and there is a belief that something is going to happen. Now I'm asking, did this voice, the signature, so we're looking at a signature of this person. When did you see this before? You saw the signature before when you were 1. And this signature is that he's controlling, he's threatening, he's in your space. So when you look at the signature of this person, does it remind you of anybody from your past? Does it? Because the signature is asking you to address how overpowering that feeling is, because it's not quite an active memory, but it is to some degree. It's asking you to evolve your personality of, and you said, no, there's not. Let's take a little bit further. Did you have any of that person in your life? Yeah, at 1. And did you go to, you had some in-laws. So your, there was, when you were little, in-laws came to the house. And you experienced it that way. And you could feel how this person was controlling the adults in your space. Okay. So you watched how this person controlled somebody, and I said, was it somebody that you loved? You saw this person just control, not really specific people, but you could see how this pattern of how this person behaves. And it affected the endocrine system. Let me, how do we do this? You know what ego people are like. Okay. You know what ego people are like. And you know what happens when somebody is helpless. Now, don't let your ego run with it, fear. Oh my God, there's nothing I can do. There's, oh my God, I'm gonna have to, this person's gonna have to be the victim. Oh my God, and don't run to the end of the timeline and predict, because that's what your brain does, is predict from old stuff. You don't have to believe that. You need to call in spirit and you say, okay, what is it that I need to do? I got to heal in me how I know that this can happen. And I got to heal the fear. I got to heal there's a part of you that does the worst case scenario, that if you think the worst and the best will come. But that's not how your body wants to function, because you're beginning to wake up. And as you begin to wake up, you're throwing yourself completely off guard, which you're going back into old habit. Your brain's trying to repredict and do this. Okay. So you hear this voice. It's a little alarming, but I want you to heal out how I know this. Oh God, I remember this person doing it. And notice the feeling sensations of it. And then you need to heal the disconnection from this person. And so you don't have to do it anymore. Okay. You begin to heal those layers. And then if it comes up again, that means we look at it from another angle. We have, it's that perspective. It's that kaleidoscope that we have to look at. And right now, the soul knows what it wants to look at and in order of how it's going to deliver all of these issues with you. Okay, does that make any sense? Is there any more questions, Aim?
Jenny Brown would like a 1 minute. Her email isn't working.
Okay, that's fine. We can do that. Okay, Jenny. Now, there's that joke of that song, Jenny from the Block. I don't know if that annoys you or not, but there's somebody that's very annoying. And there's a universal truth that's coming out that's telling you need to take your eyeballs off from the external world. That's not my book. spirit. What'd you do with it? Thank you. And the universal truth. Well, here we go again with, okay, I got to make my chart. This is ridiculous. Is that you can't find something. That's the universal truth. No, that's just kidding. Really? I'm going more than a minute. Don't worry, I got to figure this out. There it is. You have found a new level of truth within yourself. I don't think you've tapped into it, though. That's why I'm having trouble finding it, because you got to find it within there. So you got to find out what your truth is, because it's open to you. So spend some time to allow it to touch into all aspects of your life. So something that you've learned, I want you to begin to see it. And that means you need to let it affect you. All of the wheel of life, work, school, education, love, relationships. And then you let it affect the aspects of your life, which is friends, family, coworkers, and animals. The truth rises to meet you, to open to it. Be truthful with yourself opens more to you know. Creation is the universal truth, and it's rich within you. The truth is the doorway to the evolution you seek. The truth will lighten the spirit and draw you greater to your awareness. Now, is there anything specific you want to go with that truth? It's how you feel towards yourself. And if you feel bad about yourself, heal that. If you feel that it's okay to bring in love, grab onto that. Okay, I'm going to go because it's time, and I think my husband's home, and we have had a great day. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting on my wall. If you feel like you want to leave recommendations, you do so. But let's create a community and let's start growing together. And thank you. I got this from Etsy from Dr. Jules Verne. And they have some really unique and antique pieces, vintage pieces. So it's vintage jewelry that she has. Okay, so love you very much. Thank you very much for all of you for sticking it out with me and to growing and to being who we can be. And I've got to find the right button so that I can say resolve to evolve, heal instead of deal. You can heal that, and stay blessed.
I'm blessed.
And thank you, YouTubers. Love you. Talk to you soon. Stay blessed.